log universality is important to understand. It's a principle that I abide by. It's a principle that Hassan, look it up. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Christ slash from the guys who called the pirate a cool guy. I am, but Hassan, you're being a hippo about it. Wait, what? Like a hypocrite? Are you saying I'm a fan, but Hassan, you're being a hypocrite about it? My friend, if you're comparing a 19-year-old Yemeni teen who is not a part of the Ansar Allah movement, okay, to ISIS, I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, let's continue. Warren reads multiple statements of Hexit and women in combat.
So if you're confirmed as Secretary of Defense, you will oversee our military, including about 250,000 women who currently serve on active duty in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Space Forces, and the Marines. And I have serious concerns that your behavior toward women disqualifies you from serving in this role. Now, I've been trying to get answers from you for quite some time on this. You haven't wanted to meet or to answer any of my questions. So we'll just have to do it here and dive in. I want to pick up on some of the questions asked by Senators Shaheen and Gillibrand and Hirono. And I just want to make sure we have a list of some of the facts that I think are undisputed. I'm not going to talk about anonymous sources. I'm just going to quote you directly. We've got the video. We've got it in print. So going back to January 2013, you told a Fox News interviewer that women in the military simply couldn't measure up to men in the military, saying that allowing women to serve in combat roles would force the military to lower the bar. You picked up on that same theme in 2015, making remarks on Fox News, referring to women in combat as, quote, it would erode standards. June 2024, you said on Ben Shapiro's podcast, quote, women shouldn't be in combat at all. And then, of course, we've talked about it in 2024. You published a book, and you say on page 26 of your book, we need moms, but not in the military, especially in combat units. Page 48 of your book, you claim that women should not be in combat roles because men are distracted by women. And then 10 weeks ago, you appeared on the Sean Ryan show and said, I'm straight up just saying we should not have women in combat roles.
I like that he clarified it so many times. He's like, no, guys, drop everything. This is the one thing. Make no mistake, I do not think women should serve in the military. And we talked about this with you know, the trans ban in the military as well. There are many roles. The Defense Department is a hiring body. It's a government jobs program. It is the largest government jobs program. It's the second largest hiring body in the nation after Walmart, okay? So when you make decisions like this across the board, when you're just like, yeah, we're just not going to have any black people in the military anymore, or we're just not going to have any women in the military anymore, or we're just not going to have any trans people in the military anymore. That's like, you have now eradicated tens of thousands of jobs, sometimes hundreds of thousands of jobs, okay? In a way that is also unconstitutional, in a way that is also not allowed. Am I a firm and committed believer in, you know, making more female, gay, non-binary, or trans drone operators or whatever and make them do the war crimes? No, but I also understand the current situation that we exist under. I don't like the military's output, but I do understand that it's still the second largest hiring body in the nation. I think he said combat, not military. I could be wrong. Yes, he has mentioned combat, but also military as well, when he says women should be in the kitchen and barefoot and pregnant and not in the army. Now, what's funny about this also is that women in combat positions still have to abide by the same standards. The military has lowered restrictions, as that one chatter tried to own me with that article, because the military has a recruitment crisis. Having said that, however, despite the fact that the military has a recruitment crisis right now, and that's a good thing, by the way, it's not a bad thing. If you want to get a combat position, or if you want to, you know, become a ranger or whatever, those restrictions have not been lowered for women. That's not a thing. Okay. So if a woman is capable of getting into that position, they have to undergo the same exact testing that men have to go through. That's it.
Now, I presume you recall making all these statements?
Senator, I'm not familiar with the article you're pointing to in 2013, but it underscores my argument completely, because in that 2013 argument, I was talking about standards. Standards are what it's always been about,
let's not have this same fight again.
Always been about Senate
I've quoted
standards.
you directly. We've got the video. We're happy to show it.
Anyway, yeah, I was just going crazy. I was just saying things, Senator. You don't understand. I don't know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. 12 years, you were quite open about your views, and your views were consistently the same. Women are inferior soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, and guardians. And in case anyone missed the point, and these are your words from...
I think it's so funny because he just kept, like there is no defense here, because, like, it's a thing that he has repeated so much. Like, it is a thing that he has openly repeated and defended so much. So at that point, you just have to say, like, yeah, they suck. Women ain't, Senator. Like, there's nothing, like, he wrote it in a book multiple times. Like, he defended it publicly multiple times. It's this thing that he believes.
10 weeks ago, women absolutely straight up should not be permitted to serve in combat. And I notice on each of these quotes, those are said without qualification. It's not by how much you can lift or how fast you can run. They don't belong in combat, period. Or your words.
It's so awesome. He's like, no, I don't even care if they can outlive me, okay? I still don't want them. Like, make no mistake, okay? Being a woman is disqualifying. I would like to discriminate based on gender in the second largest hiring body in the United States of America. Straight up, make no mistake. If this somehow gets brought up in a congressional hearing later down the line in the future, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, who knows? I want the world to know I do not think women should be in the military. Like, that's crazy. It's like a meme almost. Like, they're not combing through his background to find, like, a badly placed quote. You know what I mean? They don't have to do the thing that my haters have to do whenever they like discuss my, crimes against women or whatever, where they'll just like clip something out of context. He just very clearly is like, this is what I believe. I hate them. I don't know how many times I have to repeat it. Like, it seems like he randomly would bring it up in times where it didn't even, it didn't even make sense.
Who was Senator Sullivan? Senator Kane.
Question of clear.
Anyway.
So quickly, forget about that. And then Senator Kane, or I guess I better use the senator from Virginia, starts bringing up the fact that what if you showed up drunk to your job? How many senators have showed up drunk to vote at night? Have any of you guys asked them to step down and resign from their job?
Wait, what? What? I mean, they shouldn't either. What's going on here? Why is this? How is that an argument, dude? Hey, who amongst us isn't hammered? I'm hammered right now. You want me to step down? I'm out of my goddamn mind right now. Who amongst us doesn't enjoy the libations every now and again? Drinking on the job makes it infinitely more pleasurable. Closer to God, I say. What is happening?
And don't tell me you haven't seen it, because I know you have. And then how many senators do you know have got a divorce before cheating on their wives? Did you ask them to step down? No.
Well, there's a difference, right? First of all, I don't care. If we want to do adultery, I don't even care about Pete Hegseth's adultery. I just think it's funny that he claims to be super Christian and has done endless amounts of adultery. And the argument here for the appointment hearings is that adultery or proclivity towards adultery opens you up to blackmail, which, once again, I also told you is not necessarily the case for someone like Pete Hegseth, because it's very obvious. If you're shameless, it doesn't really matter. If you're not open to blackmail, if you're a shameless man, Okay? Stop saying adultery is illegal if you are in the military. I know the reasons for why that is the case, and most people don't actually follow through on that. Oh my God. It's so funny that people keep saying adultery is literally illegal. Yes, dude. I know you saw the statute. Go talk to any veteran or active duty service member, please. What a hilarious thing, dude. Like, oh yeah, I know. Adultery is illegal in the military. Yes, so okay. Hasn't stopped military members from engaging in both. Okay. My friend group is military children. 4 out of 5 of us have divorced parents due to cheating. Yeah. What's next, dude? Are you going to tell me that violating rules of engagement is a serious, comes with serious misconduct? I mean, serious penalties for said misconduct? What's next? You're going to tell me war crimes are crimes? Oh my God, I know. Are you going to tell me that there is a law in the books in the United States of America called the Leahy Law, which makes it illegal for the American government to actually keep giving weapons to a foreign ally that is consistently violating international human rights? You cannot be this silly. Laws don't matter anymore is also ridiculous. Laws have never really mattered. Okay? Laws have never really mattered. What matters is the goals that we have. A lot of this stuff is just aesthetic.
Oh, but it's for show. You guys make sure you make a big show and point out the hypocrisy because a man's made a mistake. And you want to sit there and say that he's not qualified? Give me a joke. I mean, it is so ridiculous.
When talking about the military, you have a blind spot. It's rare, but I have seen 3 people in my 10 years of service actually get prosecuted for adultery. I don't think I have a blind spot when it... I don't think this is a blind spot. I think it's laughable to say that, like, the military actively stamps out adultery when the military barely addresses rape amongst its ranks in its own bases. Give me a joke, I say.
But since you guys hold yourself as this higher standard, you forget you got a big plank in your eye. We've all made mistakes. I've made mistakes. And Jennifer, thank you for loving him through that mistake. Because the only reason why I'm here and not in prison is because my wife loved me too.
And so did my second. So did Pete Higgs' second wife. And so did his third. A pattern that is clear. They loved him so much. They loved him when he was in the marriage with the first wife. And then the second wife was in love with him when he was in the marriage with the first wife. And then the third wife was also in love with him when he was in the marriage with the second wife. You understand me? And hopefully a fourth one will come down the line.
I have changed, but I'm not perfect. But I found somebody that thought I was perfect. And for whatever reason, you love Pete, and I don't know why.
Senator Warren.
Thank you.
All right, we covered the Senator Warren heated exchange.
Senator Gillibrand.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr.
4 cases assault within the local population of Okinawa within 6 months by American Marines. Oh yeah. One of the victims was like, one of the victims was a schoolgirl, a teenager, and another one was literally like, I don't know if this is correct or not, so I'm not gonna say it, but one of them was a child. Okay. That's also on foreign bases of like the, native population. There's also a major issue with assaults within the ranks. Like, this is a real issue within the military.
Mr. Hegseth, I do want to thank you for your service, and I want to thank you for your willingness to serve in this capacity.
Thank you, Senator.
I have many concerns about your record, and particularly your public statements, because they are so hurtful to the men and women who are currently serving in the U.S. military.
Wait, this is going viral?
That you could do acquisition and cross-servicing agreements, which essentially are security agreements. You can't even mention that. You've done none of those. You talked about the Indo-Pacific a little bit, and I'm glad that you mentioned it. Can you name the importance of at least one of the nations in the ASEAN, and what type of an agreement we have with at least one of those nations? And how many nations are in ASEAN, by the way?
I couldn't tell you the exact amount of nations in that, but I know we have allies in South Korea and Japan and in AUKUS with Australia and trying to...
That's crazy that he named the only countries in that region that are not a part of the ASEAN alignment. And he just dropped AUKUS too. He dropped AUKUS because he had to say Australia because he wanted to say AUKUS. But it's so funny that like he basically carved out the countries that are not a part of it. He circled around. He went there. He went to the region, okay, through name recognition, and basically chose the only countries that are not a part of this specific alignment. That's amazing.
On submarines with them.
Mr. Hexet, none of those countries are in ASEAN.
Across.
None of those 3 countries that you've mentioned are in ASEAN. I suggest you do a little homework before you prepare.
No, he literally chose the only countries that are not in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. That's awesome. He's like, you know, there's countries. Senator, you mean Asian? Okay, Australia. It's close enough. I saw people on Twitter being like, well, it's pretty obscure. I had to look it up too. Yeah, no, that's why you aren't being looked at for Secretary of Defense. Yeah. He doesn't have a PhD in foreign policy. He's just that good. For all of his faults and failures, I feel like Joe Biden would know the nations. You know what I mean? Is there actually any chance this guy gets confirmed? I know we're in the Twilight Zone. Yes. Yes. Yeah. ASEAN, you mean island China, anti-China Chinese, China that we bombed quite a bit next to the anti-China Chinese. It's like, you know, China light, different kinds of Chinese. Excuse me. This is just a humiliation ritual to get the seat. Yeah. So are Dems just running him through the mud for performance and optics, safe, and they'll fall in line and play ball? I think there are ways in which he can forcibly pass through. So it's more so about whipping up the ranks within the Republican Party. It's going to come down to like a couple of Republicans that might hold out, but all of this is a humiliation ritual at the end of the day. Trump has already said that he would get Hegseth confirmed regardless. Okay.
Harmful to morale, harmful to good order and discipline. If you are saying that women shouldn't be serving in the military, and I'm going to read you your quotes because the quotes themselves are terrible. You will have to change how you see women to do this job well, and I don't know if you are capable of that. So I want to press on these issues that my colleague Jean Shaheen brought up because she said it so well. So first of all, you answered your questionnaire. Do you believe that any American who wants to serve in their country in the military and can meet objective standards set by the military should be allowed to serve without limitation? You've said yes to that question. But then in all of these other circumstances, you've denigrated active duty service members. We have hundreds of women who are currently in the infantry. Lethal members of our military serving in the infantry, but you degrade them. You say, we need moms, but not in the military, especially in combat units. Pipe down. So specific to Senator Cotton's question, because Senator Cotton was giving you layups to differentiate between different types of combat. And specifically, as Secretary, would you take any action to reinstitute the combat arms exclusion for female service members, knowing full well you have hundreds of women doing that job right now? And the standards, your 2 mile run, Tom, is about the Army Combat Fitness Test. It is not the requirements to have an MOS 11 Bravo, which is the infantry. These are the requirements today for people serving in the industry, men and women. They are gender neutral, and they are very difficult to meet. They have not been reduced in any way, and our combat...
Told you. But it is funny that he just like either doesn't know or doesn't care. It's awesome that so many Americans will just hear him say that and be like, I agree. I agree with him.
At units, our infantry is lethal. So please explain specifically, because you will be in charge of 3 million personnel. It is a big job. And when you make these public statements, and I get you were not Secretary of Defense then, I get you were on TV, I get you were helping veterans, I get it was a different job. But most recently, you said this in November of 2024, knowing full well you might have been named as Secretary of Defense. So please explain these types of statements, because they're brutal. and they're mean, and they disrespect men and women who are willing to die for this country.
Well, Senator, I appreciate your comments, and I would point out I have never disparaged women serving in the military. I respect every single female service member.
But I don't think that they should be in the military. I'm simply stating that they don't deserve to be in the military.
That is put on the uniform past and present. My critiques, Senator, recently and in the past, and from personal experience, have been instances where I've seen standards lowered, and you mentioned 11 Alpha, 11 Bravo, MOS, places in units, and the book that has been referenced multiple times here, The War on Warriors. I spent months talking to active duty service members, men and women, low ranks, high ranks, combat arms and not combat arms. And what each and every one of them told me, and which personal instances have shown me, is that in ways direct, indirect, overt, and subtle, standards have been changed inside infantry training units, Ranger School, infantry battalions, to ensure that
give
commanders
me one example. Please give me an example. I get you're making these generalized
meet
statements.
Quotas to have a certain number of female infantry officers or infantry enlisted, and that disparages the...
I believe women can serve in the military. Do you believe that choosing who you serve with is a compromise? Just as in healthcare, you can choose your providers based on preference and religion. Wait, what? This is not... I don't even understand what the example is. What? A massive government hiring body cannot make gender-based discrimination. It is illegal and also very consequential. Like, what are we talking about? I'm looking at this simply as a hiring body. I'm not looking at this as like what the military's output is. Yeah, if you ask me, I think the American military should never engage in war ever again. Get all of those people that have jobs to start building immediately, okay? Build bridges and buildings and stuff like that. The American military is a massive hiring body. It's the second largest hiring body in the country after Walmart, okay? We're talking 3 million people, and they have a massive problem with recruitment. So any kind of standard lowering that has taken place is an effort to combat that, for the record. Yeah, this is actually a funny point. Is this Hexed not aware he isn't qualified? He doesn't have imposter syndrome at all. He's crazy. Yeah, he's talking about women not being qualified to be a part of the military. Well, he is not qualified to be the Secretary of Defense. Only 19% of the public approved Donald Trump's nomination of Pete Hexed as Secretary of Defense. But it doesn't really matter. 41% of Republicans approve of Hexed's nomination and 54% of Democrats disapprove. Many don't know enough about the nominee to have an opinion. I don't think that more Democrats are going to approve of him after this. More Republicans might, though.
Those women...
Commanders do not have to be quotas for the infantry. Commanders do not have to have a quota for women in the infantry. That does not exist. It does not exist. And your statements are creating the impression that these exist, because they do not. There are not quotas. We want the most lethal force. But I'm telling you, having been here for 15 years, listening to testimony about men and women in combat and the type of operations that were successful in Afghanistan and in Iraq, women were essential for many of those units. When Ranger units went in to find where the terrorists hiding in Afghanistan or in Iraq, if they had a woman in the unit, they could go in, talk to the women in a village, say, where are the terrorists hiding? Where are the weapons hiding? And get crucial information to make sure that we can win that battle. So just, you cannot denigrate women in general, and your statements do that. We don't want women in the...
I'm in such a weird... What are you doing, Mom? I'm in such a weird position here because, like, it comes across like I'm defending the American military or, you know, its military successes or whatever. And I certainly am not, okay? I'm just simply treating the American military, Department of Defense, Pentagon, as a jobs program, a government-funded jobs program, okay?
The military, especially in combat. What a terrible statement. So please, Do not deny that you've made those statements. You have. We take the responsibility of standards very seriously, and we will work with you. I'm equally distressed you would not meet with me before this hearing. We could have covered all of this before you came here, so I could get to the 15 other questions that I want to get to. So women, you have denigrated. You have also denigrated members of the LGBTQ community. Did you know that when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was in place, we lost so many crucial personnel, over 1,000 in mission-critical areas. We lost 10% of all our foreign language speakers because of a political policy. You said in your statement, you don't want politics in the DOD. Everything you've said in these public statements is politics. I don't want women. I don't want moms. What's wrong with a mom, by the way? Once you have babies, you therefore are no longer able to be lethal. I mean, you're basically saying women after they have children can't ever serve in the military in a combat role. It's a silly thing to say. It's a silly thing to say beneath the position that you are aspiring to. To denigrate LGBTQ service members is a mistake. If you are a sharpshooter, you're as lethal regardless of what your gender identity is, regardless of who you love. So please know this to be a true statement. So you say it was a political thing. You say it undermined us, social engineering. I don't know why someone having to publicly say or not publicly say who they love is social engineering. I think having that policy in the first place was highly problematic. And as you said in your statement, do you agree anybody should be able to serve in the military if they meet the standards?
Senator, as the president has stated, I don't disagree with the overturn of Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Great, because I don't want you thinking, can't serve if you're a mom, can't serve if you're LGBTQ, and then last, can't serve if you're a leftist. The statements you said about people who have views differently than you, that we're the enemy, are you saying that 50%?
He's heard Felix Biederman's famous bit about, not bit, but famous theory about having a military coup utilizing the revolutionary sentiment and the only organized body in the American government that is still somewhat competent to be able to bring about a socialist republic.
Of the DOD, if they hold liberal views or leftist views, or our Democrats are not welcome in the military, are you saying that?
Senator, I volunteered to deploy to Afghanistan under Democrat President Barack Obama. I also volunteered to guard the inauguration of Joe Biden, but was denied the opportunity to serve because...
Yeah, this is like a big part of his anger and resentment. Because he had a Jerusalem cross tattoo and a Deus Vult tattoo, they were like, yeah, I don't think you should, you're a bit of an extremist, Pete. Also because of all the times where you were written up for saying you want to Muslims, or I don't know, the fact that you think women are ineligible for combat positions and should not be in the military. Like, these are extremist positions. Make no mistake.
Because I was identified as an extremist by my own unit for a Christian tattoo.
Thank you very much. Senator Gillibrand, you held up a document and referred to it during your questioning. Would you like that entered into the record? Okay, okay, we'll delete.
We'll submit a clean copy.
Without objection, that will be admitted at the point of your question, and I would like to enter into the record at this point a letter of support from retired Air Force Colonel.
He has two tattoos. One is a Jerusalem cross. The other one is just Deus Vult.
It's a Cunningham. Colonel Cunningham supports Mr. Hexeth and mentions his warrior ethos, combative.
Watch. Hexeth says he supports Israel destroying and killing every last member of Hamas. I'm glad that Senator Tom Cotton and Pete Hexeth could get together and talk about the important issues, you know?
We've got a big audience here. Many of them seem to be patriotic supporters of you, Mr. Hexeth. Some of them seem to be liberal critics of you. I would note that it's only the liberal critics that have disrupted this hearing. As was my custom during the Biden administration, I want to give you a chance to respond to what they said about you. I think the first one accused you of being a Christian Zionist. I'm not really sure why that is a bad thing. I'm a Christian.
This shit ain't working. We've lost the advantage.
I'm a Zionist. Zionism is that the Jewish people deserve a homeland in the ancient Holy Land where they've lived since the dawn of history. You can.
Dude, like, I just don't like, imagine being a dude in Arkansas and hearing your senator be like, I'm a Christian Zionist. Aren't you a Christian Zionist? Jews have a holy land they belong to. They must have that holy land. It's the most important position of all time. Like, a random dude in Arkansas that already has anti-Semitic opinions, like, when you hear your senator say stuff like this, like, you gotta, I mean, that's just like, you're supercharging anti-Semitism. Unless you're already an evangelical that is going to a mega church where you're constantly talking about how the Holy Land belongs to Jews. But it's crazy.
Consider yourself a Christian Zionist?
Senator, I am a Christian, and I robustly support the state of Israel and its existential defense, and the way America comes alongside them is a great ally.
Thank you. Because another protester, and I think this one was a member of Code Pink, which, by the way, is a Chinese Communist front group.
I thought they were a socialist USSR cutout. Now they're a Chinese Communist front group.
These days, said that you support Israel.
These days. Never mind, they've changed it.
Israel's war in Gaza. I support Israel's existential war in Gaza. I assume, like me and President Trump, you support that war as well, don't you?
Senator, I do. I support Israel destroying and killing every last member of Hamas.
And the third protester said something about 20 years of genocide. I assume that's our wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Do you think our troops are committing genocide in Iraq and Afghanistan?
Senator, I do not. I think our troops, as you know, as so many on this committee know, did the best they could with what they have.
Yes, Code Pink is a bunch of old Jewish ladies. Yes, it is. They're like old school OG anti-war protesters. Tom Cotton and Nancy Pelosi doing the handshake emoji on hating Code Pink. I mean, yes, you need to understand something. That's why I always say American foreign policy is bipartisan, okay, with very, very few exceptions.
We're not the outcomes, and tragically, the outcome we saw in Afghanistan under the Biden administration put a stain on that, but it doesn't put a stain on what those men and women did in uniform, as you know full well, Senator.
Do you believe the military is a systemically racist or?
This is my favorite type of line of questioning, when they're just like, we got to talk about wokeness and DEI in the military.
There are an enormous amount of situations where the best gamer in a game is touting themselves out there. And a lot of the time, it's not really the case. A lot of the time, it's a mix. You know, like even, I can even speak from experience. Was I really the best player in Diablo 3? I mean, who knows? It's Diablo 3. But we went for it, you know? In terms of a combination of luck, skill, and being stupid enough to go for it and wasting as much time as we did, you know, that combination of things we did win out on. Does that make you the best player in Diablo 3? You know, I'm not going to put it on my resume, okay? But some people are, and some of those people basically just completely suck at the game in general. Quinn made like another video on the whole situation, and there's like a podcast there. Might even have it in this video. And like Elon said that he was one of the best Quake players. So the way to do this is just to play Quake. Like if you're the best at something, the best is just to show. Like he literally has a platform that he can stream it on. Okay, he doesn't need to tell people if he's really good at something. He can just show people, right? That's kind of the way that you want to do these things. Apparently he's like the best StarCraft, best Diablo, best Path of Exile 2 now. Quite a resume.
As one of the top characters in the game, which he does, except it's very clear from the live stream he did, it's not actually his character. He has one or a team of people that actually pilot this character, and they just give him permission to go on the account to flex it. It's not a hurricane machine.
All right. Let's be honest. They don't give Elon permission to flex on the account. It doesn't work in that direction. It is without any doubt whatsoever, if the case that other people are juicing these accounts for him, it is without question that Elon would be flipping the bill. Otherwise, these guys that have the juiciest drama story, they'd be on like NBC News tomorrow, okay? The guys like piloting his accounts, okay? The reason that's not happening is because, again, if these guys exist, they are running away with a gigantic payday, okay? They're making probably more money than anyone else playing Path of Exile in the world. And honestly, that's awesome if that's the case. But just to be clear, these guys aren't like allowing Elon to borrow their account. That's not, bro. There's no.
In conspiracy theory, it is beyond a shadow of a doubt true that Elon Musk does not play this game. His account that he showed is definitely not played by him. And it's very clear through the live stream, which we'll go through in a moment, because Quinn made a great video breaking it all down to
Quinn's video was really good.
How obvious it is.
So let's start off with some context. Elon Musk's...
Okay, so this is actually the follow-up video. So the video that I reacted to, it was like hilarious. This is the CSI version. This is the we got him. I'll be honest, if it was me, I wouldn't have made this video. This is kind of like a Reddit thing. This is where Reddit kind of takes things and they run with it, and the receipts are on paper. But I guess Quinn thought he was the chosen one. Quinn's hero was shot down from the godly clouds of gamerhood.
Character is currently level 97, aka rank 12 on hardcore, that's permanent death mode. Currently, what is their highest ranked player? They're level 97, same as Elon Musk. So, I mean, he effectively has been playing, pretty much just doing nothing except playing Path of Exile. So let's just go over some of the things that happened.
The reason I wanted to wait a little longer before diving into the spaghetti and meatballs of this is because I wanted to see Elon's response to it, because I know he's seen it. He is more addicted to social media than an Overwatch gooner. He is glued to this shit 24/7, so I am confident he is well aware that the entire gaming community is privy to his fraudulent claims of being one of the top Path of Exile players. And I just wanted to see how he would tackle that, because his responses are always glorious. It's always the most cringe shit imaginable, where he posts like an AI photo of himself as Iron Man. I am Irony Man. You call yourself the Joker, yet you can't take a joke. Ironic. And I wanted to see him do some garbage like that for this, but he hasn't yet.
Guys, he owns Twitter. Okay. Like, know when you're like 5 years old and you got like trucks and you know how you can do anything you want with the trucks? You can like run over a truck with a different truck. Yeah. Twitter is Elon's trucks. He bought it for like 50 billion or something. Well, that was his weekly allowance, bro. Okay? He made it back already. Right? He's playing with his toys.
And I just really want to talk about it because it is so clownish.
And he opens up his bank and he goes to a tab called Elon's Maps, which immediately is a little bit of a red flag because I don't know why you would refer to yourself in third person, but okay, he does that. He then proceeds to walk up to his map device and go to put a map in. The literal first thing you learn upon getting to the end game is how to operate this map device. You're going to start off at a node, and then from that node you can go to adjacent connected maps. Now, Elon, he's trying to click.
Oh, he's trying to do the map that's not in the chain.
He's just clicking a map repeatedly, trying to access it. He was not eligible.
I want to point out that, you know, much like Elon, myself as a God gamer, I kind of learned the system roughly in like 5 seconds. You basically click on it like once or twice and you realize that the ones that you can click on are the ones that have a bright light on them. You're like, oh, that's how it works, and then that's how you. So it's not. This is not a mechanic that it takes like hours to learn. Okay, this is like a 5 seconds type of mechanic.
Or to enter that map.
I just want you guys to understand, this is one of the highest level hardcore characters in the game. He would have played thousands of maps at this point.
I don't know how many of you have ever subjected yourself to the torture of trying to watch an Elon Musk stream, but they are agonizing when he tries to stream a game because it's like 30 minutes of.
I'm not disagree. Another L take. They're hilarious. Bro, is he not paying attention? The Path of Exile 2 stream was amazing. There's so much content in there. You just got to read between the lines.
Actual nothing burgers where he will sit there AFK and all you get is just background noise. The banging of pans sounds like shit falling over. It's like listening to Legos exploding, and then he'll like occasionally talk and he's still doing nothing, and then maybe he'll do like briefly one map. Watching Snoop Dogg.
I just want, once again, guys, Twitter, it's his, okay? Unfortunately, but it is. It's his trucks, okay? He can do what he wants.
Stream when he left and just left it running for like a day was more entertaining than trying to sit through an Elon Musk Twitter stream. They're fucking brutal. So Quinn going through this cut out a lot of that, and when he's actually trying to play the game, he doesn't know what he's doing. So what he's showing here is he has that tab called Elon's Maps, which is a weird thing to do, but he's a quirky guy. Maybe he refers to himself in the third person. You could maybe try and
some people actually do that
there because he is just so peculiar as an individual that he would do that.
Extraterrestrials, man, lizard people.
The big smoking gun
the reptiles
in this
are real.
intro is that he doesn't even know how to use the in-game map. He doesn't know what he's doing. Like, I'm not even to that point in the game, yet looking at that map, I can tell you.
In my opinion, there is no smoking gun. The whole thing is just smoking. There's just fumes. Okay. The building's on fire. All right. You can't even, if there is a smoking gun, you can't see it. It's just, it's under the flames.
What is and is not accessible just through the basic understanding how games work. He is clicking on a grayed out node. He is repeatedly clicking on it, expecting something different to happen. It's fucking grayed out, goofball. You clearly can't go there yet. But he doesn't understand it.
Anyone who's level 97 is, and you know, we're talking one of the most efficient players in the game, period. There is no way you would do that. Why just like sitting there like some sort of.
I also want to add a little bit of context. There's one thing that really prevents people from getting to high level in Path of Exile 2. Do you know what it is? It's a really big thing. It's why my character is only level 93, and instead of getting it higher, I made like 5 other ones. It's because mapping's boring. Yeah. After you get to the point where your character is like soft finished, just like mapping, it's just like not that interesting. So doing it to level 97 means that the character that made it to 97, that the person that played it, did it like 5 times more than I did. Okay.
A geriatric old man clicking this node, expecting something to happen, and then he finally kind of gives up after a while and then realizes his mistake. We then get a look at his inventory. So Elon Musk is stuck going into the map and with full bags. If you're an efficient player, you're going to clear a map, you're going to loot the valuable items.
And you're going to sell the trash, keep the good stuff, salvage the bad stuff. Everyone knows that. It's not just being an efficient player, it's just being a player in general. Elon Musk goes into it with a full inventory. You don't have to be a Path of Exile player to know that that's pretty stupid. If you're playing a game that revolves around...
I think this is like, I'm gonna soft disagree here. I think the standards of when people turn on the camera and play a game, people expect them to be good. I think someone like Charlie here, he goes to the PoE category and like everyone is efficient. He logs into PoE and everyone's efficient. For me, I've never forgotten the days of playing World of Warcraft with top players that would keyboard turn when they are sitting in Illidan's fire. Okay, we gave Warglaives to these people. Okay, and these are people that this is the only game that they play, and they play it all day, and they're a high level. Like, there is a level that's below super efficient Twitch streamer, okay? And people are allowed to play on it. But being one of the highest people in hardcore PoE 2, and again, I stress this in my recap of the game, because he's one of the highest level, and because the people he's competing against have literally played every waking hour, because this is not a game that came out 10 years ago. It's a game that at that point had come out 3 weeks before. So for him to be that high level, he actually would have had to play efficiently. Okay, but it's not a default of anyone playing the game. No, that's not how it works.
Around getting loot, why would you go in with no ability of collecting loot? It doesn't make sense. Unless, of course, you're Elon, who doesn't actually play the game and can't wrap his head around that concept that, you know, having a full inventory kind of defeats the whole purpose. You'd want to get rid of your trash, or if all of that is just treasure, just absolute beautiful loot you don't want to part with, you'd put it in your stash. You wouldn't take it into the map with you because you need the space in your inventory. That is like actual basics. And he's already failing on the most fundamental aspects of playing not only this game, but any games even similar to it. It's actually a rookie mistake that I myself was making when I was first starting this game, where I was just taking unnecessary shit with me. I didn't realize just how quick and easy it was to just go store it or sell it. You can just click a single button, it'll make a portal to the town, and you could just sell it and then go right back through that portal to where you were. You don't lose any time or anything. It's not a hassle or a chore, and it's...
You definitely lose time. Okay, guys. Competing with the top players in the world in hardcore PoE 2 weeks after it came out, you definitely don't go to town to, like, sell inventories just for the sake of it. You typically try not to do that. You try to do one inventory per map because you have to teleport out at the very end of it anyway. So what you actually do in, like... Not that I just, yeah, no, I feel like a dickhead kind of going over this, but yes, that's not actually how you do it in PoE 2. How you do it in PoE 2 is you literally just identify stuff while you're playing, which is really hard to do, by the way, and then you just drop the crap on the ground, and sometimes when you get to town, you actually have an inventory of only good stuff, okay? The example of like teleporting mid-map, you don't want to do that unless you absolutely have to. There are cases where you absolutely have to if it's like a Giga Juice map, though.
Something that once you start playing the game, you become privy to. But Elon Musk doesn't really play this game, it seems. Yet, somehow has one of the top accounts in the whole fucking hardcore space.
Watching.
How odd.
So what I've been doing here is just boosting my shield before battle via meditation. Meditation before battle is always good.
And he starts killing monsters. He starts obliterating monsters with his character. But what becomes obviously apparent...
Chaos Orb, no loot filter.
Like, no, he's just running past Chaos Orbs. He just ran past the Chaos Orb.
Chaos Orbs are one of the most important currencies, and they're also really rare. I have about 140 Exalts. I have like 9 Chaos Orbs, just so you guys understand.
This fucking goober doesn't even have the wherewithal to loot one of the most valuable currencies in the game with a Chaos Orb. So I'm 30 hours deep. I've seen one. I've seen one in 30 hours. And he just runs right by it. He doesn't know the game at all. The only thing he loots are completely meaningless waystones. They're not fully meaningless, but for where he's at in the game, it's not what you'd be prioritizing for loot, but the reason he's clicking the waystones is because those are what's highlighted. Meanwhile, Chaos Orb wasn't highlighted, so in Elon Musk's little like caveman brain, not shiny, not need. So he just ignores it.
No, like, if GGG doesn't want to highlight the item, that's probably bad, right? That's just how it works.
Doesn't know the game.
It's unfathomable for someone to be in the top ranks without a loot filter. Yet Elon Musk, the god gamer, he doesn't play with a loot filter. The only thing Elon does pick up are maps, because the default in-game loot filter highlights those.
I just want to point out that I also didn't use a loot filter until like a really long time into Path of Exile 1. I started using a loot filter around like Legion, so like 5 years after the game. They had loot filters for like 3 or 4 years. I just didn't use them. And people would come into my stream and complain. It's like, why don't you use a loot filter? And I just tell people the loot filter is my eyes. Okay, guys.
Where you going, mate?
However, I picked up the damn Chaos Orbs. Okay. If I ever felt like I would miss stuff, that's the exact moment where we start to use loot filters.
Those things are worthless. The actual items of value that he should be picking up, that he would have had to pick up in order to get the gear, leave it on the ground. He gets to the boss, he's fighting the boss, and I want to say for about 10 seconds, he sits there and he's out of mana. Mana is a resource in this game where you need it in order to use your abilities. He just sits there, default attacking the boss without activating his mana flask. Anyone who's played the game and understands the character would understand like, oh, I'm not doing any damage because I'm out of mana.
There's no explanation for him being bad at this character at this level. If he was the one that has been piloting it this whole journey, he would have mastered it. And what Quinn is pointing out is that he clearly hasn't. You can tell from his gameplay. When he's fighting this boss here, he is out of mana for an inexcusably long period of time. In Path of Exile 2, if you go out of mana, if you play League of Legends, you can immediately pop a mana flask and get it back to continue optimizing your DPS. He doesn't do that. His character is juiced out the wazoo, so he's able to get away with being so dog shit. But the fact that he doesn't pop his mana flask for like 10 seconds is crazy to me. And anybody who plays the game. It's not him being some kind of chess master galaxy braining this, or being frugal with his mana. Well, actually, I made a calculation that it would be suboptimal if I popped one of my fucking 20 mana flasks at this moment, because you wouldn't understand. I'm one of the top players in the game.
And the mana flasks, they have, they can have up to like 11, 12 charges, I believe, maybe a bit more. Actually, it's the health flask around 10 charges. The mana flask even more than that. There's a lot of charges. So you have like lots of mana flasks. Basically, when you're normally playing the game, if you're like pretty good, you'll literally never run out of mana because you preemptively use the mana flask because it's like a regen mechanic.
I'm thinking, well, 5 steps ahead of you. It's just him just being bad. It's him being bad at this character because it's not really his character. Whoever is piloting this account behind the scenes and boosting it lets Elon go on and do these really easy maps where even when he's super shit, he can get away with being bad and not be punished for it.
He then goes on to loot items off the ground.
Like, they actually weren't the easiest maps. It's just his character is... I mean, I don't like go around snooping, seeing what gear people have, except for like Gazi, because I want to see how good his builds are too. But yeah, he had the best gear of any character I've ever seen in Path of Exile 2. So that's why these maps are trivial. These maps weren't like easy. They actually are like the highest level maps with things on them, as Elon likes to say. It's just his character is like, just like it's out of this world, basically.
He starts dragging them into his bag. Like, I don't even know how to describe to you how painful that is to anyone who actually plays the game. And his bags are full, and he just keeps clicking it over and over and over again. Nobody, not even people who are kind of noobs at the game, do this. I don't even think Elon Musk has done the campaign, honestly.
I also don't think he's finished the campaign. I'm going to go a step further. I don't think he has ever really played an ARPG to a high level at all, including Diablo. Nobody, I mean actually nobody, is going to drag their loot into their bag once they spend any amount of hours in Path of Exile or...
Okay, I'm going to add a little context here, and I'm going to disagree again. His mouse movements were pretty bad. They're indicative of playing with, like, you know, those little thing in the middle of a laptop keyboard? Like if I use that, that'd probably be kind of like how my mouse movement would be in his gameplay. So God, I hope he's not using that. You know, being the richest person on the planet, you typically hope you have something a little bit better. But what I want to point out is that the etiquette for inventory management in Path of Exile is very different than it is in like Diablo. Okay, in Path of Exile, if you want to pick up items without dragging them, you actually have to close your inventory, then pick up the items, then open your inventory again to check your items. It's actually not super intuitive. It's intuitive for me because it's the exact same as in Path of Exile 1, and I've been doing that for like 11 years. Okay, but it's actually not like super intuitive for someone who's not getting like advice or like learning the game from like a guide. It's actually not that intuitive, I think. You also like move things from a vendor screen, and you can like, you know, basically speed manage stuff in your inventory with like holding control. If someone doesn't know that they have to hold control, they are going to play the game like Elon, especially if they're using the little itty bitty thingy in the middle of your laptop keyboard, which again, you should never use. Please throw your laptops in the garbage if you have those.
Or Diablo or anything, no one's going to be doing that. That is a mistake that only your grandpappy would make if you sat him down to play this game where you just slowly drag in the loot. Nobody fucking does that. So I really question the authenticity of his claims of being one of the top Diablo players through his own sheer blood, sweat, tears, and elbow grease and cum. I think something similar has been happening for him on Diablo, where he has people behind the scenes playing the game for him, and then he just goes on occasionally to do a couple maps to flex on Twitter streams.
So that's absolutely likely, but the thing is that it's one of those things where, you know, if someone gets caught like stealing or something, they're just going to say it's that one time, but it's the one time they got caught type of thing. So yes, it's absolutely likely. I haven't rewatched it, but I saw some of like his clips of playing a little bit in Diablo, and it didn't look that bad. It looked pretty all right to me, honestly. It looked pretty all right.
You're also an innovator there.
Yeah, I've played a lot of video games.
You think about like StarCraft, any game where a lot of people are playing, to rise to the top, you have to be exceptional, period, as a human being.
Yeah.
There has to be something exceptional about you.
Yeah.
Are you in the top 20 in the world?
God, Joe Rogan's so stupid. Oh my God, it hurts. It hurts so bad. Stupid.
The top 20, wow, in Diablo.
Yeah.
A ton of people are calling this into question now after watching the Path of Exile stream, because those are transferable skills. If you're really good at Diablo, you should at least be pretty good at Path of Exile. And he's just not. And he lacks the basic understanding of ARPG fundamentals. So how the fuck could he be one of the top Diablo players and be this clueless for Path of Exile? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't compute.
His settings on the map transparency are turned on by default. His life values are turned on. All these basic settings that anyone in the top 100 would do, he is not doing. Maps can effectively have different content on them, and that content will be signified by icons on the map. So it could be a map which has an expedition in it, a breach in it, or it could be corrupted. Elon starts looking through the atlas, and he finds a map with, I kid you not, 4 things on it.
There are 4 things there. So this one has the real risk of dying.
4 things. Yeah. What is the map that he put in? They got to cut it out. So the mechanics themselves aren't dangerous, especially for a character like his. It's whatever he has on the map. If he has like
4 things there.
Dangerous mods on the map,
this one has the real risk of dying.
I didn't see 4 things. What are those things?
Dude, 4 things. It's 4 things, dude.
You can't just write this off as him being lazy and trying to put it in layman's terms, because this stream of him flexing his Path of Exile 2 achievements isn't made for, you know, your uncle or something who's a big Elon meat swallower. This is like specifically catered to gamers. So it makes no sense that he would just write that off as just 4 things. And also, his settings make no sense for someone in the top 100. No loot filter and all the basics still on. That's
again, I totally agree with that, but like I'm really anal about like settings on a game. Like the first thing I do when I play a game is I like look at the controls and I make sure they kind of work with how my brain works. It's like the first thing. And then I need to see everything. If I can't see those, we got problems. Right? So it's the first thing I do. And I'm sure it's the first thing most people do. But
that's how I play. And I am nowhere near a top player in Path of Exile 2 at all. It doesn't work. That excuse of him just being lazy, it doesn't work. He could not achieve what he has in Path of Exile 2 with these settings and the way he approaches the game. It's clearly just not him that has got the character to this point. He doesn't know what those 4 things are, which is why he calls it that.
He knew the breach.
He then goes on to say, oh, kid you.
This is max difficulty on hardcore. If there's a way to get higher difficulty, I don't know what it is, but this is everything maxed out.
Path of Exile has...
Losing Bravo.
So I said it's like, go do a boss. Apparently, Elon did stream Arbiter of Ash like a week or something into the game, and he died. So it's kind of funny because, you know, it's like nitpicking, but like, even with his super limited knowledge of Path of Exile 2, he actually knows there's harder content. Isn't that funny? Out of the small amount of knowledge that he's proven that he has, he's still managed to contradict himself.
Boss fights and end-game bosses, which are quote-unquote difficult battles, which Elon actually did do in one of his streams where he just went into the end-game boss and dived repeatedly to it. Maps are just farming. You go into maps and you farm them for loot and experience. They're not the most difficult battles, and I don't know if he's trying to deceive people watching a stream into thinking that he's doing some insanely hard thing, whenever he's literally doing something you do to effectively grind.
No, dude, those maps where you one-shot the screen when you left-click, nah, dude, that looked way harder than that boss fight. Nah, this
farm.
I don't know what's harder than those maps.
Path of Exile 2 was like listening to the out-of-touch writers in CSI, where they'd have things like, you have all the top scorers in every MMORPG ever. I am elite noob slayer. Like when they try and relate to gamers, that's Elon with Path of Exile 2. It's such a weird thing to lie about because this isn't a cool thing to anyone that's not already playing Path of Exile 2, but anyone who plays the game would immediately recognize he's just making shit up and doesn't actually know what he's doing or saying.
But he's not impressed. He's not trying to impress
This is a max difficulty Turbo XL Super Arcade. In fact, I'm the only one that's unlocked this difficulty setting, and I just wish it was a little bit harder because for someone of my intellect, it's just a bit beneath me. But yeah, this is maxed out difficulty on hardcore. You can see I'm breezing through it. I wish I could increase the difficulty a little bit just to stimulate myself.
Elon needs to get some dude to program a thing where they hire Charlie and it comes out in like Elon's voice, and they just put that voice over like Ben playing Path of Exile 2, and Jesus Christ, that would be impressive. Oh my God.
Off a bit more, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm just too good for it. Like the way he talks about this game while clearly being clueless on it, he's actually infuriating. I can't fucking stand it.
I think it's hilarious.
My stats going over his gear.
This is a great staff, but it's only a level, 62 staff.
His weapon is, I kid you not,
it's awesome.
One of the best, if not the best staffs on the entire hardcore trade league.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Cannot even buy it. Insane weapon.
Not only does Elon have a staff that you can't even buy, but it's so good that the second best one, which is missing 2 of what makes
the second best one is, it's not even close. It's just like they're showing, it's like, oh yeah, this stuff is, it's not almost, it's not even close. Like you're missing 3 crit, which is 30% more crit. It's missing the crit damage, which I didn't know this, but on a weapon is a multiplier to your multiplier. So it's missing another 30% damage on your crits. It also has 10% less damage. Okay, you can put in a calculator. What do you get when it's like 1.3 times 1.3 times 1.1? Yeah, it's like 75% more damage. So Elon's staff is almost double the only staff that even comes remotely close. Like when I said it's the best gear I've ever seen, I was not exaggerating. It wasn't like I had seen gear that was like almost as good. I had not seen gear that was almost as good.
A staff so powerful for an invoker, which is the crit and crit bonus, is still 20 divines, and that's obviously very expensive.
Yeah, I'm like level 95. My staff is only level 62.
That is something that you learn pretty early on in the game, that the actual level of gear isn't the most important part about it. That's just the requirement to equip it. Quinn gave an example that one of the strongest, most meta builds at the moment uses a weapon that is level 1 requirement. A level 1. If Elon Musk had that on his stream, he would probably blown a fucking gasket. He would have had a conviction, thinking that his boosters were doing a bad job. But they're doing such a good job that it had become blatantly obvious.
The funny thing is, if this situation is actually what went down, the truth is that as good as his staff is, using a Pillar of the Cage guard as a level 1 unique actually probably is still pretty comparable with the right build. It's pretty similar in terms of power. It's just such an overpowered unique. There's actually some chance that if this whole situation actually happened, that Elon literally just asked them to get a better item. And they're like, all right, Elon, I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can, Elon. I'll get you the highest level staff I can.
Yes, that Elon is not the one behind it at all. His weapon is nuts, yet he is fixated on it being level 62, thinking it's beneath him because he's a much higher level. He doesn't grasp the concept that it's not the level that makes the weapon good, it's all of the blue stuff there. You can't reach this point in the game without that basic understanding. You just can't. Like, he's talking like he needs to upgrade his weapon soon. Like, yeah, I need to get myself a better weapon, you know, one that reaches my potential at level 95. But for now, this is getting the job done. I'm able to do all of this with such a low-leveled weapon.
So again, it kind of tells me that Elon actually does play, at least to a much larger degree, Diablo. This is kind of how it works in Diablo 4. Up until last season, if you found an item and you were like max level, the item's requirement would be like ridiculously high. So having an item that had a level requirement that was really low actually meant that you found it a really long time ago when you were lower level, and almost certainly makes it crap. Okay, so just, I know a lot of you guys play PoE and you find this concept like he's so out of touch. It is actually kind of how it works in Diablo 4, more or less.
It's fucking insanity.
My helmet is level 56.
Int, lightning, and chaos resist. Okay. It's only 56.
Amulet level 61. Ring is only level 48, 49. At least a level 75 jacket.
It's a jacket with 6 things. Yeah, tell us how bad the item that only drops from the highest difficulty of the hardest boss. Just tell us that it's only level 52. Did you find this at level 52? That's impressive.
Level 52 here.
They can only ever be level 52. Bro, Elon Musk is a fucking fraud, bro.
Pretty low level compared to my character level, but it seems to work pretty well.
It does seem to work pretty well.
Seems to work pretty well is an understatement. He is a fucking force of nature with this gear. He is beyond juiced. The actual pilots of this account have done an extraordinary job of making an absolute deity with this gear here.
Guys, if this whole story ends up being the actual case, let's get one thing right. Elon hired the right people. You know what? Those guys doing a bang-up job. Really impressive.
And yet Elon can't recognize that because he's not the one that did it. He only mentions the item's level, the least important part about items in the game. And once again, the excuse of, oh, he's just being lazy and he's trying to put it in layman's terms so people don't understand. People know like level 62 versus level 95. Well, no, because that doesn't work because the 62 is extremely good regardless of him being level 95. He could be level 1000 and that level 62 weapon is still going to be fucking unbelievable. He just doesn't understand how the game works. He just doesn't. Like, if he didn't want to go into detail on everything for his gear during the stream, that's fine, but he is actively saying that the gear isn't really good because of its level, which is so false, it's laughable. That's why he is being giggled at by both Crip and Quinn during this.
I mean, it was really funny.
He is beyond clueless as to what he's even looking at and what he's talking about. And from his gameplay,
he's probably not going to include it because, I saw Rax react on his stream to my reaction. Just 'cause, I like Rax. Yeah, sure, I'll check it out occasionally. But they skipped the part at the end of my react. I was like, dude, this content's great. I want more. When's the next stream happening? I just find the situation actually entertaining, right? I feel like there's this hyper cynical angle that I feel is a little bit overblown. it's just like, it's just funny.
It seems he doesn't even really know how to play the game itself either. I would wager guess he's maybe spent a couple of hours actually playing the game, but only like clearing maps. I don't think he has ever picked up a piece of fucking gear in his life or worked on a build or anything at all. I don't think he even knows how to use like skill gems or support gems or anything. I bet if you asked him to bring up like certain things, like explain why this gem is where it is, he would have no clue why. If he brought up his skill tree, he would have no idea what's even on it. And like if you asked him about trials, he would hit you with big fucking question marks or just ignore it and move on.
I don't even know how some of those work.
He doesn't know the game, and he proved it with this live stream here. But the question needs to be asked, why even lie about this in the first place? Again, this isn't something cool to people who don't play Path of Exile, but anyone who plays Path of Exile is going to recognize that you're a fraud. This is not your account. If he was honest about it, saying like, hey, I tried Path of Exile, I really liked it, but I don't have time to grind it, so I paid people to grind it for me, I think people would have a little bit more respect for that, as opposed to him cosplaying as one of the top players.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, these dudes are passing it off that he's not impressing anyone who doesn't play PoE. I don't think that's true. Bro, like in this video, he showed, is it Joe Rogan, right? How Joe Rogan's so impressed that like Elon is a top Quake and StarCraft player. You know, Joe doesn't strike me as a gamer. He probably has no idea what those games are like, right? It's definitely impressive to total noobtards.
Pretending he's the one actually putting in the work and doing it, when he's definitely not.
And if you needed any more proof that Elon is 100% boosted, he was playing the game today inside of maps, blasting, while simultaneously on a X space.
Yeah, RIP. So Elon's account, Percy, did die, and in hardcore that is permadeath. And I'm not sure if it was Elon that died on it or if one of the people he paid to boost it made a mistake while grinding. I'm not sure. But I love the idea that it was Elon who bit the dust on it and bought the farm, because the people that actually put the hundreds of hours into getting this account so juiced out the wazoo are probably fucking furious. Like, they set Elon's maps aside, which are very easy maps for him to clear for the sake of flexing on Twitter with this account that they're actually putting the work into, and yet somehow this bumbling buffoon still finds a way to...
Look, if you're spending hundreds of hours to gear up the character for some rich dude, you've already gone through the mental of it. You've already been there. You know, the moment your hands off, the character might be the last time you ever play it.
Die on this overpowered character, just reverting all of their hard work to zero. It's just a beautiful
dry your
thought.
fucking tears.
They set aside
there.
easy maps for him.
More billable hours.
Too big for his britches. Maybe what happened is he saw all the people, you know, calling him out for obviously not playing this game. He's like, okay, I'll put on my big boy britches and I'll do some hard content, and immediately just gets fucking washed, like just actually rinsed. I'm very excited to learn how exactly this account perished, because this, I feel like he'd probably mention it, you know, like what happened? What went so wrong? But yeah, I wanted to talk about that.
He forgot how to use meditate properly. I heard that can really get you in hardcore PoE. I heard it from one of the best PoE 2 players, actually.
This a bit. It's such a weird, stupid thing to even lie about in the first place, and yet here he is telling blatantly obvious fibs. He's got all the money in the world and all of the insecurity imaginable. He has this desperate, insatiable appetite for unconditional love from everyone.
I mean, people with lots of money, this kind of checks out. This is kind of it's like the their MO, you know? It's, yeah.
And in this pursuit, makes everyone hate him through being just a lying cringe lord. Like, this is such an unnecessary lie to even tell. He just wants to be viewed as the smartest person ever graced this fucking space rock that we live on, and the best at everything he even attempts to do, even when he's just not. He could have actually probably scored a ton of brownie points with gamers by saying, hey, Path of Exile 2 is a really good game. I'm learning it right now. Watch me stream the, you know, the early game content. And people probably would have actually really applauded that, because he's playing it on his own two legs here.
I mean, it's absolutely the case, but, you know, humility is not. It's not their forte. You know, billionaires and humility. It's a bit of a divide.
He's playing and learning it, and that could have been a really easy way to relate to gamers. Like, hey, this game's great. I'm gonna start learning to grind it. I'm not very good right now,
It would
but
not
if
be
you want
as
to check
funny.
out my
That's
early
true.
game, here's the stream. And I bet it would have been received far better than this dog shit. He is poorly playing an account that has never actually been piloted by him. But it's an account with a lot of prestige because it's so high ranked, and that is like the most appealing thing to Elon. It's just it's nonsensical. He's so fucking cringe. It's crazy. That's about it. So yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. I also want to thank Elon for once again delivering fantastic content for my stream and the community surrounding it. So thank you very much. It's been a great help for our Clips channel. Make sure to subscribe to Casual Crypt. Yep, more content coming.
Damn it, we've lost the lead.
Did him in. Molotov lit.
Enemy spring mine.
Done and done.
Lead's ours. You've fallen behind.
Penguinzo did a 23-minute video on Elon Musk faking his Path of Exile 2 gameplay by cheating and by hiring people to play for 24 hours of the day from Asian servers. And the wildest part about this is not that Elon Musk has always been a con man and a charlatan who has failed upward successfully, right place at the right time, is very lucky to have all of the best people. All right, give me the, I can't believe this is the first and last time I'm ever gonna say this. Give me the Quinn 69 video. My man was so obviously cheating.
I have a lifetime of playing video games. At one point I was, maybe one of the best Quake players in the world.
You're actually like a world-class, incredible video game player.
Yeah.
Paragon board and the build, you're also...
Yeah, we know he's not an incredible video game player because we remember his Elden Ring build. He was fat rolling with 2 shields for no reason. Also, Crypt did a video as well that's probably even better. Anyway, my point is, it's funny to me that all of the regular incompetence of Elon Musk is not what did him in. It's this. It's literally this. Like, a guy like Quinn69 is slated to love Elon Musk. I feel like Quinn69 carries himself in a way where he is like the highest likelihood to fall victim to a crypto scheme. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anything about him aside from the fact that he's Kiwi, and I suspect he is the type of dude. If I think of like who's the type of dude that loves Elon, it's a Venn diagram of a circle when you think about the people that are most likely to fall to cryptocurrency schemes, and Quinn is in the center of that circle. So for me, the fact that this actually got Quinn off the Elon train is hilarious.
An innovator there.
Yeah, I played a lot of video games.
You think about like StarCraft, any game where a lot of people are playing, to rise to the top, you have to be exceptional, period, as a human being.
Yeah.
There has to be something exceptional about you.
Yeah.
Are you in the top 20 in the world? Or the top 20 wow, in Diablo?
Yeah.
Shooting rockets into space, making e-vehicles, starting a new department of the government. I actually let myself think maybe he actually is an alien, because there's just no way, unless he's paying people to do it for him, which obviously he's not.
Yo, I'm a 6,000 plus hour pro player, and I watch Quinn from time to time. He used to love the dude, but the account piloting really pissed Quinn off. I love that.
Elon Musk's character is currently level 97, aka rank 12 on hardcore, and that's permanent death mode, Trade League. Let me try to give you a quick understanding as to how hard it is to get to that level. 2 weeks into the league, when people are playing the game, literally, they're staying up 40 to 50 hours without sleeping, only playing Path of Exile, and they are the most try-hard guys in the world. The highest ranked player on the Hardcore Trade League was level 93. Okay, and you're thinking about yourself, that's kind of close to 97. Every time you level up, it becomes exponentially harder to gain experience. A lot harder and a lot harder. Okay, so these players, to get to 97, have to be playing the game every day for the majority of their day. So right away, we see Elon zone into his hideout, which is the area you do in-game content from. And he opens up his bank, and he goes to a tab called Elon's Maps, which immediately is a little bit of a red flag, because I don't know why you would refer to yourself in third person, but okay, he does that. Elon Musk didn't play Path of Exile 1. In Path of Exile 2, maps are actually called waystones. And he never actually refers to them as maps. He calls them...
Play another round here. This is a hard level, Waystone.
So it's just kind of weird that he's, again, called his tab Elon's Maps. So almost like someone who's a Path of Exile 1 veteran, you know, is kind of making that tab and be like, Elon, you know, there's a tab there called Elon's Maps. Grab your map out there. I've rolled them all for you. They're nice and easy. He then proceeds to walk up to his map device and go to put a map in. The literal first thing you learn upon getting to the end game is how to operate this map device. You're going to start off at a node, and then from that node, you can go to adjacent connected maps. Now, Elon, he's trying to click.
Oh, he's trying to do the map that's not in the chain.
This is why I downloaded Path of Exile and never played it. 1, because I'm not a real gamer, but 2, like, even portaling to a map is an arduous, multiple-pronged, multiple tree option process. How? It's just like, it doesn't make sense. It is literally so scary. The skill tree is why I've never touched Poe. You would have fun in the campaign is really not that bad. This is endgame. You don't even get here until 50 hours in. It's good. You know nothing. Don't shit on Poe. No, I don't know anything. And that's why I'm saying I'm too stupid to enjoy it. But then you got this guy enjoying it. And it's not like he's a beacon of intellect. So I don't know what it is.
We then get a look at his inventory. So Elon Musk is stuck going into the map and with full bags. If you're an efficient player, you're going to clear a map. You're going to loot the valuable items. You're going to go in and you're going to take those items and you're going to basically look through the good ones, keep the good ones, list them up for sale, and then truck away the trash ones. It's almost like he has no understanding as to like what items are or what you're even supposed to do with them. And he starts killing monsters. He starts obliterating monsters with his character. But what becomes obviously apparent.
Chaos Orb, no loot filter.
Is like, no, he's just running past Chaos Orbs. He just ran past the Chaos Orb.
Chaos Orbs are one of the most important currencies, and they're also really rare. I have about 140 Exalts. I have like 9 Chaos Orbs, just so you guys understand.
So in Path of Exile, the devs are these evil guys, and they talk about feeling the weight, and they effectively just drop tons and tons of items, and you have to know what to pick up. So what GGG have done, the people who make the game, they've made this system called loot filters, which gets rid of 90 to 95, even in some cases, like we're talking 98% of all loot that drops, because otherwise your screen is just cluttered, and you won't even notice when you get a good drop. It's unfathomable.
I'm sorry, what? Chatters that are like, bro, you have to try Path of Exile. You have to try Path of Exile. You have to be on crack, dude. What the hell am I looking at? That's without the loot filter, dog? So the raw game? This is the raw output of the game? Wait till you see the skill tree I have. You can't call it a tree. It's a skill forest. It's not a skill tree. It's a skill continent.
Yet Elon Musk, the god gamer, he doesn't play with a loot filter. The only thing Elon does pick up are maps, because the default in-game loot filter highlights those. Those things are worthless. The actual items of value that he should be picking up, that he would have had to pick up in order to get the gear, leave it on the ground. He gets to the boss. He's fighting the boss, and I want to say for about 10 seconds, he sits there and he's out of mana. Mana is a resource in this game where you need it in order to use your abilities. He just sits there, default attacking the boss without activating his mana flask. Anyone who's played the game and understands the character would understand, like, oh, I'm not doing any damage because I'm out of mana. Elon Musk takes 10 seconds. He then goes on to loot items off the ground. He starts to...
Did he kill him? Did he kill him, though? I'm on Elon's side on this.
Dragging them into his bag. Like,
Are you winning,
I don't even know how
son?
to describe to you how painful that is to anyone who actually plays the game. His settings on the map transparency are turned on by default. His life values are turned on. All these basic settings that anyone in the top 100 would do, he is not doing.
This character died yesterday at rank 7. Wait, this character? Isn't this like 97? Or did they nuke his account because he was cheating? Rank 7 on the ladder. Oh, on the leaderboard. Wait, did he die on stream? Wait, so he died off stream? He probably executed the bot farm in China. He probably flew out to China and individually killed every single person that caused his booster, that caused his account to die. I wonder how much money he spent. Because, like, these aren't regular boosters. Like, these guys are, they have to be cracked, right? Or is it multiple, you think? And they're running, like, you know, 8-hour shifts so that he can always be on. Because I know he was on 24 hours pretty much. Like, you would have to get multiple pros. You'd have to get multiple pros to be able to boost like that. He was rank 7 on the ladder. The character died. Assume Elon logged in and killed the character. I feel bad for the Chinese guy that invested hundreds of hours. Nah, they probably got paid, dude. In the game, you can just stand there while people kill. The account died while Elon was giving a speech in Germany. Oh my God, the account died while he was literally talking to the AfD Nazi, talking about how Hitler is actually secretly a communist. Is that when the character died? Because that's so poetic. That's so funny. What a dipshit.
And if you thought this was bad, I did not even get to the worst part. In Path of Exile, gear has requirements to equip it, but that has nothing to do necessarily with how good it is. For example, one of the most powerful and best items in the game is a level 1 required to equip staff, which is maybe, I think, even the most meta build in the game right now. It's super, super broken, insane damage. And Elon Musk starts going over his gear.
This is a great staff, but it's only a level, 62 staff.
His weapon is, I kid you not, one of the best, if not the best staffs on the entire hardcore trade league. You cannot even buy it. Insane weapon.
Elon has admitted he takes the NSAM patch. It's the same ADD medication that SBF took. I don't think Elon takes it at all. If you think Elon played any part of this game aside from when he was streaming it, you are the funniest person on the planet. No, dog. He did not spend 24 hours. Crip explains this very well, where there are API tools out there where you can literally know whenever any particular character is logged on. And obviously, considering that he's rank 7 on the planet, there were a lot of people, once they figured out this was Elon's character, that were literally constantly tracking his character. He was on in Asian servers virtually every single moment of the day. So no, I don't think Elon was constantly flying to Asia or using a VPN to log in through Asian servers. VPN, bro. Okay, dude, you're delusional if you think that he was doing that. And it's not just like a simple way to get a bunch of dumb nerds to believe him. Until, these nerds were like, dude, there's no way you are, you've achieved this level of success. Tracking his PoE character did more damage than his PJ flights on Twitter, Lamau. Have you seen his Elden Ring build? That's not him. Exactly. I believe he actually played Elden Ring because his build was trash. But he also was not like putting out impressive stuff on Elden Ring. Here's the ladder. The top PoE players who sleep 3 hours a day haven't even reached 100. There's no way Elon himself would level 90 plus by himself. I'm telling you, dude, he just wanted to show off. He wanted to make it seem as though he was this like cool ass nerd, That's it. Yeah, also a VPN from Asia to the United States is also stupid as hell. He wanted the extra ping.
Anyone who's played Path of Exile to the end game in a trade league knows that you have to trade in order to obtain what looks like some of the best gear pieces in the entire game. If we look at some of these player accounts, we can see what they have for trade. 700 plus items for sale, multiple divine items. You can see hundreds of divines worth of listed items. This is also someone from the top 10 at rank number 4, Focus here, worth 50 divines alone. This is the number 1 guy. You can see hundreds of divines, again, worth of items, multiple mirrors, all these players. If we go to Elon's account, he's got only 21 items for sale, and they're all absolute garbage. It's clear he's really not making much money, or any money at all.
Asmon knows about it, and Asmon is shitting on him too. Oh, that's so funny. I love that all of the nerds are turning on him. There's nothing funnier to me than this being what destroyed Elon's reputation with Quinn. Like, Crip is smart. I'm sure he wasn't like a big fan of Elon to begin with, but Quinn is exactly the type of dude who loves Elon. Asmon too. Yeah, Crip and Quinn are basically on the two separate parts of the spectrum of people who play Path of Exile. Like, Quinn is also smart when it comes to this game. Yeah, he just maxed out on being smart in this game. It took away from all of the other aspects of his life where he's also supposed to be smart. Normie Viewer here, what's the aim of him pretending to know a video game so much? It's to get like sweaty nerds to be sweaty nerds. Like, Elon loves presenting himself as this like deity of all nerds, like the patron saint of nerds. So this gives him in his mind nerd cred, okay? Street cred, nerd clout. Oh, he's such a big gamer. He loves Diablo. He was so good at Diablo. He's so good at Path of Exile. It's even a harder game than Diablo. It's just like he's just an insecure man, and everything that he does is to serve that insecurity. And once you recognize that, a lot of the puzzle pieces fall right into place.
So something I did notice last week, I did the same search because I was curious what he might have been selling. And I grabbed the screenshot, which I shared to my Discord, and it's this really, really, really crappy crossbow for 18 divines. So why is it listed for 18 divines, and where did it go? Is it possible he vendored it? Yes. Why was it listed for 18 divines? I don't really know. I don't want to fuel any conspiracy theories, but I have been made aware that RMT, typically, they use legitimate listings that are far overpriced, and that is how they mask the transaction as legitimate. So
RMT is real money trading. He's using real money to purchase in-game weapons, which is a big no-no because it's pay to win.
While simultaneously on a X space talking to like some far right-wing part of some German government, I don't know, some political bullshit. Okay, I guess he's just that much of a god gamer.
RIP Elon F. Elon, no, that's Elon Lamau. Back to the beach, bozo. RIP Bozo F. Get Elon slave. You think Elon killed the booster? I hope not. I hope he didn't kill his booster.
Semtex front. I kill.
Okay, hopefully I am live. I need to do a little bit of stuff. This is going to be a members only stream. So if you want to watch this stream, you gotta be a member. Moderators who aren't members of this channel won't be able to access members only live streams. Okay, well, whatever. Let's see. Members only. So maybe this is too greedy for me to do, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Let's set this up. All out of whack. Okay, here we go. So what I wanted to do with this stream is I had a fan send me the link to the unedited version of the Aubrey Smalls interaction with Jimmy Lee. I'm going to react to that, and then I'm going to really put a pin into this whole saga, and hopefully we can drop it and leave it alone after that. So we have Andrew Tate, Nelk podcast disaster. Ethan's dad meets Jimmy E. Notice Aubrey Smalls isn't even written in this at all.
First of many. Do you know, Harry, what histrionic personality disorder is? I could probably make a good guess.
Yes.
Typically, I've been posting on.
Kill confirmed.
So for those of you who didn't see it, about, I think it was like a week ago, maybe a little bit more, Exclusive Ace put out a video on skill-based matchmaking and how he was able to retrieve his skill-based matchmaking data and see his SR rating in game. And he asked people to do the same and send him the data. I am yet to receive mine, but he said it started rolling in, and he put together a video based off of, I'm assuming, comments that people gave him, so the reliability of it is a little bit off, but here is what he found.
What's up, guys? My name is Ace, and it looks like finally the skill data is starting to pour in for players that have requested it from Activision. For those that aren't familiar, a couple weeks back, I shared the fact that you can request your personal data from Activision. This is a legal requirement for them to do in many regions at least. And as part of the personal data they share for you, they share every single match that you've ever played. It looks like all the way back to Modern Warfare 20.
Which, like, honestly, how wild is that they're keeping that much data? Like really, like how wild is
19.
that?
At least for some people it went that far back. And with this data, it also includes your hidden skill rating that they don't show you in game, and that they matchmake you based on. Now, I already went through my skill data when it comes to Black Ops 6, but that was just a single data point. Now I've had a lot of people responding with at least some of the general stats that they've been seeing with their data that they received, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit today, share some of my initial observations, keeping in mind this video is going to be far from scientific. It's more about making some general observations, maybe noticing some indications.
Yeah, in other words, he doesn't have enough data yet to like make any correlations or anything like that. Just seeing what people said and putting it out there in a video.
Trends that may exist. And at the end of the day, there's still one big element that's holding us back from seeing basically everything that's going on here, and that is they don't share the lobby skill data. While you do get to see your skill rating, you don't get to see the skill rating of the...
Okay, I want to be clear here. If they were to show us our SR, like if they were to show us like what our skill rating was in game and you were trying to get it up, one of the problems I always had with Halo 3 is it didn't show you properly whether or not if you won or how well you did in a game, how much it increased your SR. You just know that, okay, if I won 5 games in a row, my rank is probably going to go up. And like, honestly, I feel like if they just put your SR in the game and showed it to you in public matches, it would actually work out. A lot like do well for people.
And that does have a big impact on what your skill rating will be, as we'll see as we go through this video today. Also keep in mind, a lot of this data is very messy because people are reporting different values, like some are reporting elimination death ratio, others are reporting kill death ratio. Some people are only reporting their maximum skill rating, not their...
Nero made a good video about what data they take into account. I'm not kidding. It's like a list of 20 plus things. It was shocking. Maybe we'll watch that one later as well.
Average or their minimum. So this is why toward the end of the video, I am going to ask for those that are willing to share their data in a more standardized format that I can actually analyze with a bit more accuracy. But stay tuned for that. I'll share exactly what I'm looking for from you guys. If you're willing to go the extra mile, you don't have to do it, obviously. But with that out of the way, let's go through some of the immediate observations I noticed just scrolling through a bunch of people's data that they have shared. The first big thing I noticed that didn't pop up at all with my data is your skill rating can actually get into the negatives. So 0 isn't the...
So that's an interesting thing, right? So you'd think if they were making this simple, they would just rank you on a scale of 1 to 10. So why would they make it so that you can have a negative SR? But that's weird, right?
The lowest value. In fact, based on what I'm seeing, it...
First time catching the live stream, just finished watching your Indiana Jones game? Well, I'm glad you're here, my friend.
A 0 skill rating may actually be right around the average, if not bang on average.
Like, that's
and unsurprisingly, most of the people that did share their data with me, they do have a positive skill rating overall. But typically, for somebody that watches a channel like mine, you're dedicated to improving yourself, and therefore, on average, you're going to see above average players watching my videos. But I did find that to be very interesting that it can get into the negatives, and that doesn't appear to be a bug as well, based on some correlations that I was seeing. Although I have seen it reported that party game modes will show up in the negatives. I haven't really played any.
Okay, so I'm gonna be like, I always tell you when I've watched a video. I think I've watched about 4 minutes of this video, and then I'm like, I need to watch this on stream. One thing he's going to talk about in here is that LTMs working differently for SR rating, and I want to like point something out when he gets to that, but I'll let him say it first.
Party game modes. I didn't have any party modes within my data set, so I can't confirm that for sure, but this is why I want to get some more information as well. The next thing I noticed is, well, I generally want to just focus on the current Call of Duty game, Black Ops 6. Many people are reporting their skill ratings from previous games as well, and it appears they use an entirely different scale depending on the Call of Duty game. Like with Modern Warfare 3 and Vanguard, on average, it seems the skill rating values get way higher than what we're seeing in Black Ops 6. And perhaps that's an indication of skill-based matchmaking being weaker or stronger depending on the game, but I don't think we can say that with any sort of confidence. They could just be using different weightings for how they determine what your skill value is, or just a different scale entirely. So we can't really draw any conclusions there. And again, from here on out, I'm just going to be focusing on the Black Ops 6 data. Another thing I've noticed is for some of the people that have shared their full graphs of their skill data, you often see a lot of roller coaster-like skill rating.
Why do you think that is? Like, actually, why do you think that is? I think it's pretty obvious that this is not skill rating, it's engagement optimized skill, right? Like you're not going to see like a slow improvement because the way that it does is, okay, you did better, we're going to throw you in with the wolves, you did worse, we're going to make your lobbies easier, you did better, we're going to throw you in with the wolves, and it should be this kind of thing. Now, if you put a trend on it, if you're improving, it should go up. But because it's not more based on engagement than skill, this is why they don't show your SR in game. And I think that's hugely important to note.
Where it's just a constant cycle of ups and downs, and this seems to align with what many people have been sharing over the years that they experience while playing the game, and that is you play really well for some games, then the next games you get into are significantly harder, so you perform way worse in those lobbies, and after you do that for a little while, now you're in easier lobbies and you get to perform really well again, and it's just that constant roller coaster-like effect that it seems is now mirrored by skill data, at least from some players. Again, keeping in mind, not entirely scientific, just some basic observations. And then another interesting general observation I made here is certain limited time modes like Ransack, for instance, they seem to have no impact on your skill data. Like as you play those.
So this is the stuff. This is I think where I ended the video and was like, I need to put this on stream. So pay attention to this.
If you play several games in a row, your skill value doesn't change from those matches at all. And this could be the reason that limited time modes can sometimes feel like they have little to no SBMM.
And so when we played like LTMs, like I think we're gonna probably hop on after we watch a couple videos and go into pentathlon. It feels like you get in a wider range of lobbies. Like I got in lobbies of Ransack specifically where I got dumped on. I think it would happen on stream. I'm like, I don't want to play this mode anymore. And then I got in other lobbies where I'm like, I'm a god. I'm the best player at this game ever. And I think they might be doing that on purpose, where they're putting LTMs with either looser or very little skill-based matchmaking. But again, if you're doing that, make it so LTMs have no skill-based matchmaking. You can see your SR in team deathmatch, domination, the regular game modes, and then there's ranked play. Or at that point, you don't even need ranked play.
This is something I've been experiencing with the pentathlon game mode as well. In my experience so far, it feels like there's no strong SBMM there like we would normally see in the other modes. And in general, it seems like I'm just getting a decent mix of lobbies, generally trending toward being much easier than...
That's actually a really good point that you make. SBMM and LTMs have always been loose. Last year's Battle Royale preview was so fun for that reason. Yes, and somehow it didn't make my video, but when I previewed the Squid Games event, I played in a Warzone game and I was just messing around. I played solo quads with randoms and I won. And like I was just messing around. I hadn't played Warzone in like a month and it was clear that the skill-based matchmaking wasn't there.
The lobbies I experience if I play Domination, for instance. Now, that's not to say that I haven't had some tough matches here or there, but it doesn't feel like it's all being determined algorithmically. Like, I can dominate for several matches in a row, and it doesn't feel like I'm immediately kicked up to a significantly harder lobby. Instead, it just feels random and organic.
Which is awesome.
And based on what we see with the skill data in some of the modes like this, it may actually be true that there is no real SBMM taking place in those modes. Or perhaps at the very least, it doesn't affect your skill rating as you're playing, so if you're playing that mode for...
I'm gonna put this idea out there, because I think this is genius. How would you feel about this? Next year's Call of Duty game comes out, and it comes out with, let's say, 9 game modes. You have like Hardpoint, Domination, Team Deathmatch, Search and Destroy, Kill Confirmed. I'm missing a few, but like the main game modes. Each of those game modes, it says in-game, skill-based matchmaking enabled. And as you play games, it gives you an SR rating, and they link like iridescent and things like that. But in the seasons, they add in LTMs, they add in Ransack, they add in Pentathlon, they add in all of the, Free For All would be another example of one where they track SBMM. These ones, it says SBMM off or no SBMM or whatever, or looser SBMM or no tracking of SR or things like that. There's no SBMM in there. So you can play your LTMs with no SBMM, and then you have your regular modes where your SR is tracked constantly, and you try to get a higher rating, and then maybe they put in playlists. They put in a mosh pit playlist that's considered an LTM where there's no SBMM. How would we feel about that? And then the main modes that you would play would be SBMM, you'd have a rank, and then you'd have these loose, no skill. Like, would that not be the best of both worlds? Does that not make sense? Am I crazy here?
long period of time,
sounds awesome
you remain
to
at a
me.
consistent skill rating.
This sounds like I can just hop on and be like, okay, we're grinding search today. We're getting to 1,000 SR. And then we're getting the badge for doing so. And then I'm going to hop into some casual lobbies and go for headshots. Like, God, that sounds like a good game.
And therefore, you see a lot more consistency with your gameplay. So that wraps it up for the general observations that I made right away. Now I want to dive into one data set that I found to be particularly interesting, and this is coming from Clamps SH on Reddit. Now, the reason this data is so interesting is he admitted to 2-boxing right up until 2-boxing got patched. And just to be clear, I don't condone 2-boxing. I don't 2-box myself, never have. I just find this data to be extra interesting because since we know he was manipulating the lobbies, it actually does give us a bit of an indication of how the lobby skill rating may impact your skill rating. So when looking at his graph, you can see the exact moment 2-boxing was patched. There is a massive difference here. And it's interesting. Based on what we're seeing here, it looks like his skill rating dropped off drastically the moment 2-boxing was patched, likely because his performance dropped off drastically the moment that was patched. But then it really didn't take long for that to shoot right back up to the point where it's actually much higher than it was when he was 2-boxing, and his performance was significantly better.
Which means because he was playing against lower players, his SR was not jumping up. But then when he got put against better players, his SR got bumped up. Makes sense.
Now, he did also admit that even after 2-box was patched, he's still playing games with his low skill account, so that will theoretically give an averaging effect, and he will still be playing in easier lobbies than what he should be playing in if he were matchmaking solo. But the fact that his skill rating is so much higher now than back when he was playing in 2-box lobbies, or essentially the lowest of low skill lobbies, that really once again seems to reinforce the fact that your lobby skill is a very important factor in what your skill rating is going to be. In fact, he shared a little more data here. He actually shared his elimination death ratio, win-loss ratio, and score per minute from when he was 2-boxing to after he was 2-boxing. And while his elimination death ratio was cut in half the moment 2-boxing was patched, his skill rating ended up being drastically higher. And that's likely due to the fact that he's not playing against the lowest of low-skilled players, and he's playing against people that are at least a little bit better. So once again, what we're seeing here is it appears your skill rating is not only based on your personal performance and how well you do, it's based on how well you do relative to the skill level of the players you're playing against. You can look like an absolute god, totally dominating bottom-of-the-barrel players, but have an insanely low skill rating, or you could potentially barely be going positive and barely keeping up, but in really high skill lobbies, and your skill rating will end up going up because of that. And honestly, that's not too surprising at all, but it just reinforces the fact that we don't have access to all of the important data and the data that's really necessary to do like a full proper study on all of this. You really need that lobby data because it clearly has a big impact. And I think it's great we got this data from this person because while we can't see our lobby skill rating, we can see exactly what happens when you're manipulating the skill level of the lobby that you're in. And while I think it is a good thing that a skill rating in a video game or sport or anything would be based on who you're playing against and how you're performing based on how good they are, rather than just how you're performing in isolation, at the same time, this highlights the big issue that many of us have with the matchmaking system that Call of Duty's been using for many years now. And this is the fact that outside of these data requests, we only have access to the isolated data of our personal performance independent from this.
But it's also like, it makes it feel super disingenuous what you're playing when you don't actually know what's going on.
The level of the lobbies we're playing in. And this is why, if you're going to be matchmaking so heavily based on a skill value, we should be able to see this skill value. And I mean in-game, not via a personal data request that can take apparently weeks to get. And I would actually have far fewer complaints about this system if we could see where we stood in the community, if we could see our skill rating, if we could see the skill rating of the lobby we were playing against as well. Or we can even just see, did our skill rating go up or down based on that previous match I just played? And that would at least give you an indication of what kind of lobby skill level you were playing in. Now, obviously, the thought there is, well, isn't that what ranked play is for? And yes, exactly. That's what ranked play is for. And that's, again, why I think the strict level of skill-based matchmaking that they use in Call of Duty gets so much pushback.
If you're gonna have SR anyway, what is the point of having ranked play?
There's a place for that.
But again, they're not actually using skill-based matchmaking. That's not what they're doing. It's engagement optimized matchmaking. So they'd have to get rid of that if they were to do what I said, which is make it so that they showed you your skill rating. And yeah.
That is ranked play. And while I think it is totally fine to have some level of skill-based matchmaking to protect the lowest of low from the highest of high skilled players, I really still feel that they're too heavy-handed with this, considering the fact that this is casual public matches and we don't even get to see what our skill rating is. It's hidden from us, and yet it determines so heavily what our gameplay experience is going to look like. Next up, I want to talk about what I want to do in the future with this skill data, because I'd like to take a much deeper look here and maybe even narrow down a little bit how heavily each stat is weighted when it comes to your skill rating, obviously while missing out on the lobby skill data, which I'm sure is a very important factor that we will likely never get to see. But to give you an indication of what I want to do with this, I did collect a bunch of kill death ratios and skill averages from people that
even like Halo back in the day had ranked set list and social set. It was perfect. You were completely right. And like I said earlier, even though I couldn't see like what I needed to rank up to that next level, which would have been like the next best thing for Halo 3, there was still that option. You're 100% correct.
Shared that with me. Although in some cases they shared their elimination death ratio rather than kill death ratio. So I just put that on a 0.9 multiplier to get roughly what their kill death ratio would be. Keeping in mind, again, this is not scientific, but this is more so just to show what I would like to accomplish with more data. So don't take this one too seriously. The sample size is also tiny on this. But what I wanted to see is how much of a correlation is there between kill death ratio and your average skill rating in Black Ops 6. And as you can see, there is definitely some correlation here. The lower your kill death ratio on average, the lower your skill rating is going to be on average. But it does start to get a little more muddy as you get to the higher skill ratings or the higher kill death ratio values. And that's where I believe things like score per minute really...
Wait. So 0 skill rating is around a 1.2-ish?
Start to come into play heavily, because if you have a really low kill death ratio, you probably also have quite a low score per minute because you're dying a lot and coming off a respawn a lot, so you're not getting a lot of score. Whereas on the higher end, you could have a really high kill death ratio because you're camping away from objectives and not getting a lot of score, or you could have a high kill death ratio while also getting a lot of score. And that's going to have a big impact on what your skill rating is looking like. Now, unfortunately, overall score per minute is not a great indicator since it's skewed so heavily based on the game mode that you play, as well as the playlist as well. If you're playing Nuketown 24/7 or Stakeout 24/7, your score per minute value is going to be very, very different if you were playing the...
I haven't talked about it in a while, but the whole different XP on different maps really irks me the wrong way. It really bothers me. Like, I think more than it probably should, but it really bothers me.
Same game modes on the regular maps.
That's not what he's talking about.
But this is where I want to be able to look into that data myself, because we can sort by game mode with this data, and I can separate out game mode specific score per minute. And I'd like to see how that correlates as well to our skill data to see if there's a stronger correlation there than our elimination death ratio or kill death ratio. So just out of curiosity, I want to do the math on this, and I want to make a video about this in the future with a much more scientific presentation than what we saw in today's video. So this is where I need help from you guys. For those that are willing to take a little bit of time here, I would love it if you could take your HTML file that you received from Activision, assuming
he is going to have so much data. I do not envy what he's
did the data request and got your data, and then import that to Google Sheets. Now, once you do that, please take the time to scroll through, delete all personal data, anything with your IP address, your name, your address, anything like that. I obviously don't want to see any of that stuff. I just want to see the match data, and I only want to see the match data for Black Ops 6. I'm going to keep it all focused on that. So if you can do that and don't change any of the column formatting, don't delete any columns or shift any columns around, because I will be running some macros to pull data from that. And if
what a nerd. Ace is such a nerd. I love it.
The columns are inconsistent from one sheet to the next, that's just going to be a huge mess for me. If you can do all of that and then just send it to the
I don't even know what that means.
Email that I will leave in the description down below. I created that specifically to get data from you guys so my actual business account doesn't get totally flooded. If you can do that, that'll be great. The more data, the better here. And I also want to point out, this is going to be totally anonymous. It's just going to be a data point. So if you're somebody that's worried about your stats being too low or anything, please don't worry about that. I'm not even going to look at who it comes from or anything. Like I said, it's just going to be a data point. What he's
going to do is he's going to look at your data and judge harshly. That's what's going to happen here.
And I suspect I'm going to be getting a lot of above average stats, and I really want to see what's going on the other side of that as well. So please, good stats, bad stats, I don't care. I just want to get as many stats as possible so I get as many data points as possible, and then perhaps we can figure out what's going on with this skill rating, at least to the best of our ability with the data that we have available to us. And with that, that's going to wrap it up today's video, and I'm really curious to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about some of the observations I made in today's video, like the fact that your skill rating can get down into the negatives? Also, what do you think about the graph?
The skill rating down into the negative doesn't make any sense. Like, what's the point of running a scale that can go into negative? I don't understand that. Like, I
the person
really
that two-boxed and how that affected his skill rating. Were you guys surprised to see results like that?
No,
Just let me know.
The two-boxing actually made complete sense, but like the whole negative thing, I don't understand.
Down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.
Man, Ace is about to go through data hell. Like, I do not envy what he is about to go through, because he has just asked for so much data that he is going to have to compile and deal with. And like, maybe that's like his cup of tea. Like, maybe he loves it. Like he said, he's going to run some macros. I don't even know what that means. But the video is going to be good. Like, let's just be honest. The video is going to be good, and I want to hear what he has to say. So I get what he's doing here. He's a man of the people here. He's a man of the people, and he is showing us what we can't see in game. And I would really like if we could see it in game. And it does not seem shady. It does not seem shady that we can't just see it. That we have to like submit a data request and then not know anything. Like, it does it not seem shady? Like, just or like just a little.
Hey.
Yo. What's up?
Yo.
What's happening? What's up? No restart necessary. Saw you in there. Everything's working pretty good.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, much better than the prior game.
Well, I mean,
Sweet.
We'll see. I mean, it's there's the ebb and flow, the technical issues.
Yeah.
Apparently,
true.
some people had some serious problems. I think they just put an update in. I don't know. I think it's mostly a Warzone issue, and I'm not gonna play Warzone until bring a big. But anywho, go ahead. I'm sorry. What was I saying?
Nothing. I just said dig it. Dig it. Dig it.
I was watching some video about Hulk Hogan today, and until he referred to Macho Man Savage, but Hulk Hogan is a weird dude. Did you see that he got booed at the because WWE went to Netflix?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can watch like the WrestleMania or whatever it is. And he showed up, and he got booed by the crowd.
Wow.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, it's super.
How come? Because he's a racist asshole? Or?
Yeah, I guess WWE
Some other
fans
reason.
just aren't feeling his right wing shift, his support for
Really?
Trump.
No shit.
Yeah, man, it's pretty nuts.
Wow.
You know, I mean,
I kind of would have thought that was their bread and butter, monster truck crowd.
I don't know, man. It's really hard to read where America's at right now. Super hard to read.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm glad to hear it.
Because Trump got less votes than he did against Biden.
True.
You know, so it's
yeah, it was mostly people sitting on the sidelines, just not voting
just
at all.
a lot of people didn't show
up.
up. People were just kind of like, and
Yeah.
it was based. It's
Right.
based on who didn't show up more, which was the Democrats, because they didn't like what.
God, that's
Well, I mean, because of
so
Palestine.
sick.
Well, it's Palestine. They if they would have like even made any kind of overtures towards like, yo, you elect me, we're going to end this genocide. They would have acknowledged the fact that like people were actually dying because of the actions of Israel.
Yeah.
They might have gotten some votes from those people, but they were just kind of like, shut the fuck up. Here's a few more $1 billion, Israel. Keep doing what you're doing. They're kind of like, well, I can't vote for you. Why would I vote for you?
Yeah.
I don't support this. But it's
Yeah.
the inauguration day is coming. Did you see any of the Pete Seth whatever?
Hegseth. No, I did not.
I watched a bit of it.
I mean, a little bit in the morning as he was walking in. That's all I saw.
You didn't see any of his questioning?
Testimony? No.
Like I mean, they're just like the grilling him. It's kind of like same with like Kavanaugh. Any kind of like nomination grill. It's essentially what's happening, and it's like,
right.
This is a psychopath, bro. I'm like, he tries to hide behind Jesus and God and certain things, and it's kind of like, bro, like you're a government official. There's a separation of church and state. That doesn't mean shit. You know what I mean? It's kind of why should you expect anyone to care about that? You know, in this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, if you walked into a job interview in America anywhere else and said, well, God this, God that, most people would bounce you out unless you were applying for a job in a church. What are you talking about here? We want to know if you're competent enough to do the job. What does God have to do with this exactly? We're not interviewing God.
No.
We're interviewing you.
And like he was like charged with shit. Like I mean I don't know the total details, but they're like laying in on him. And like I don't know.
Yeah, he paid someone off for assault.
The fact that like the American voter seems to be fine with voting in like sexual criminals. Like people who assault people sexually.
Defies.
It's fucking
absolute.
It says a lot.
Crazy.
I mean, anyone who's kind of like, oh, feminism is for America, is kind of like, fuck you. Like, you can be elected to president after saying you're going to grab people's fucking pussies. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah, he's an adjudicated sexual offender.
Yes, and the fact that that's not a deal breaker in America.
That's not a deal breaker, not anymore.
Like, shame on you, America. Shame on anyone who's like, that's not that big of a deal, is it? And where are the women? God damn it. Because there are women who are just kind of like...
Right before the election, I thought that's all it was going to take is just a bunch of women to show up and be like, fuck this guy. Fuck him all the way to hell.
Now there's some women that kind of like, no, I want men to tell me what to do with my body, essentially. I want men to dictate everything about my life, and I am cool with that because Jesus told me so. Anyway, you got challenges?
Oh yeah, as usual.
Got one more spring mine goal to get. Grinding for it for like the last 2 hours, and yeah, 2 out of the 3.
How many have you had to get?
Just 3. But I've been forgetting.
Dude, I got that same challenge.
The spring mines. I forget to put them down. Admittedly.
Oh, is that it? Okay. All right.
Sure. So if yeah, damn it, domination or something, I'll slap one down. Some. What do you have any preference for
nope.
playlist? Just want to jump into it.
Nope. Anything's...
I pretty much just go in team deathmatch domination. Is there anything you'd like me to add?
No, I mean, I when I play, I also do kill confirm, but if you don't prefer that one, that's fine too.
No.
It's fine.
Oh, on there. Any other one?
Nope.
Like hardpoint. No.
What's that? Hardpoint? I could do hardpoint.
If you want hardpoint, I'll put through hardpoint. All right, yeah, let's just.
I normally use that too. That's like my 4. I think.
I like in 2019, I stopped using hardpoint because the maps were so goddamn big. Would spawn and have to run 100 meters. Goddamn point. Killed right before you get there. Then you have to run another 100 meters. I'm just kind of like, I've never played hardpoint again. Like 6 years ago.
well, don't start on my account.
Well, I mean, these maps aren't big. It's not so bad on, especially these Treyarch maps. Everyone's kind of shitting on the maps in this game, but like, I don't hate them.
I don't mind them.
I mean, I like to see some new ones. Some new ones that like are pretty. I like Babylon. I don't know why. I mean, that's actually a really decent like shipment style map. It's a little more complex and it's got a little more range. Do some sniping on as well, but you can get some close quarter action. I like Babylon. I like this map too. This I usually have a soft spot for the beta maps.
Kill confirmed.
And this was probably my favorite map that was in the beta. It's like Satellite, Cold War. That was in the beta, and every time I got that, it gave me a warm heart.
We're winning. Keep it that way.
Oh, sniper up there. Oh, he got me.
I threw a Semtex at him. He killed me, but I got him.
Nice.
Nice throw. It was just a perfect throw right to him.
Have you ever noticed like like heat, what it causes like this kind of like little waves in the air? Like when like if there's like fire or something. Like they do that in this.
No.
There's like heat. Like I don't know what you even call that. Like
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like heat waves like on like over fire or something like that. Like they have that in this and it looks it's god damn man. Detail. Love this shit. Just astonishing. Technologically.
Oh! Run that sniper's on top of that fucking truck.
I've been turning into a sniper bandit myself. Get all these assholes.
Gotta go. Gotta go.
I'm on, you only need 3 gold snipers to get to grind diamond. But I'm doing my 4th sniper right now. I already did the diamond on well, but grinding gold on this
You're a
one.
completionist.
Oh well, I mean, I love the snipers in this game. Maybe I can avoid doing like any. Sure, that'd be fun. Love the extras. I hate doing one.
Shit.
Like the camo challenges for the launchers in Cold War was like, I just remember just being like pure hell. Shit.
Tally, mine. Tango down.
Just
Springmine planted. Enemy sentry turret detected in your AO. KIA. Enemy care package above.
Sentry turn. Just one sniper bullet at a time. Yeah, how many sniper bullets is this sentry turret gonna take? I've put so many in there. Come on. I feel like I put like a dozen. God damn it. Shit behind us. Someone got the flanky spanky.
Yes.
Shit. So we're doing DMZ tomorrow, right? Wednesday? Is that the deal?
Yeah, that's cool. Plan. Yeah.
So I tried to do some power research today. Didn't do much. Just kind of like it's actually pretty busy. I'm gonna try to do some tomorrow. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to.
Yeah, no worries.
But I will try. It's on my menu. But
if I can get a little more,
if you can, cool. If we can, we'll try to get to one of the spots, see what we can do. But maybe we can concentrate on maybe we can concentrate on doing some looting. We haven't done some looting in a while. Get some cash. Some get some guns in our contraband stash. I think it would be more.
Just threw a spring mine down.
I mean, I know a lot of the challenges are for like expanding like your loading capabilities. I don't know if we're gonna. I mean, 100% in DMZ would be fun, but it would be like I don't know if it's really realistic.
Hostile in my sights.
If I was gonna 100% anything, I want it to be like the bosses. Like I don't want to kill all the bosses. And if we have to do challenges like, in the meantime that would help us defeat these bosses, I'm down for doing that. But I think that's probably gonna be the most fun. Or at least the most like satisfying.
You're supposed to be the CIA.
Yeah.
Act like it.
Shit.
Net call. Enemy watchdog helo inbound.
I hate the watchdog helos.
Shit, dude. I don't know. Great.
Anti-aircraft.
Eyes on watchdog helo.
Speaking of launchers.
Identified enemy mine.
And my usual go-to anti-chopper loadout was it's like usually an LMG and a launcher.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished getting gold on the base LMG. It's actually really good. I started working on the second one. But I'm trying to finish up the sniper. I'm going to try to finish with the sniper, then I think I'm going to try to finish up pistols. I've got gold on 2 pistols and gold on 4 to get the diamond. Try to finish up this third one. I've already did my favorite pistol by far, which is the Grekova automatic pistol. It's insane. I finished that one. I got gold on that. So right now I'm working on the ES-45. And your typical semi-auto. Not great. Not super fun to play on, but shit. Need more headshots when you do this thing. We got 67 out of 100 headshot gun. Anyway, any how you doing your challenges?
I got 1 of 3 spring mines. I got to get 5 kills without dying. That's.
I think we had this. I think I had those challenges yesterday. I had that one without dying. I did not get a single spring mine kill that game. All I need is 1. Because I'm just not even thinking about it. Whenever you throw down a spring mine, or if you do in this game, let me know. Just so it reminds me that I should probably throw one down as well.
Oh, okay.
I just keep forgetting.
Yeah, I threw my second one down and somebody blew it up like literally the second I threw it down. I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" Thanks.
I don't think I've thrown down a spring mine in over an hour, just from absent-mindedness.
Team deathmatch. Let them have it, Black Ops.
Let them have it, Black Ops.
We got the lead. Now hold it.
Oh, come on.
Damn it, we lost
He
the
died
lead.
too young. Oh, fuck off.
What happened?
I haven't got a shot off yet, and I've died twice.
Oh, that's it.
That's what happened.
Wait, what are you running?
Marksman rifle.
I've been there. An escalator.
He died.
He's dead. Oh, he was. Wait, did he have? Oh, there's someone right above us. Okay. Multi-level shit. This is me up sometimes.
Come on. What the? Somebody
Guy in,
fucking just hanging out behind a wall.
There's a guy behind in the offices. The guy with the lizard and skin.
Alright, somebody's been fucking beating me up over here. He's hiding.
Over here?
No, he's been hiding down there.
Yeah, there's one. Oh shit! That should have been. Oh my god! 2 shots that should have fucking landed. Okay.
Contact down.
Okay. Justice. Sweet, sweet justice. Well, not justice, more like redemption.
Oh, is it the elevator? Is that where they're fucking hiding?
They're there. I just ran into someone on the top floor, right above the escalators on the side of the building. This is on the west side of the building. This is a good sniper, man. Let's go triple. They get a quad. Very good. Oh, damn it. Finally got me. I can't believe I got that many kills and I didn't even get like a UAV. I got like 6 kills.
Dude, I put a spring mine down in the elevator. They've been headed into that fucking... You know what I'm talking about? That shaft?
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. I should...
I've
thank
got
you for
double
reminding me.
kill
Oh my
top
god.
one or whatever.
I've got my spring mines
Put
ready
one
to
in the
go.
elevator. Keep them out of there.
Alright,
Keep them out of that fucking thing. Yeah,
you get there
right
from
here.
the bottom floor? Shit, oh shit.
You can get there from the top floor or bottom floor. Yeah, they've been fucking just sneaking around over there this whole game and killing me. See?
Dropping a spring mine.
Come on.
Oh, this elevator? Oh, oh shit! God damn it! That should have landed. Son of a bitch. Oh, what? There's a guy on the second. This is a sniping match. If you don't have your sniper, I suggest get. Oh, you got your marksman out. That's enough. It's definitely one of those matches. Kids. Right under him, wouldn't you? Careful over there, god damn it.
Enemies have disarmed the sea mine.
Shit. They above us. Yup. God damn it. It's both out.
Fuck, I threw a thumbtacks went right over his head though. Who overthrew that baby?
There's like basically 2 sets of escalators. There's like low ones on the east side of the map, from they come underground essentially, and then there's ones on the west side that kind of go to the second floor. They're by the ones that come in the basement. Shit, no. Where? God damn it, chameleon guy is over here. Push up behind us.
Enemy spotted.
Oh shit, come on, come on, come on. Oh yeah, let's go. Snipe.
Just like old times.
Incoming grenade.
Aces all day.
Shit, shit, shit. Oh, I'm
Get your bloody hands off me, you knob.
He took me to the elevator. Come on.
Oh. Get in the fucking crap.
They're so fun.
Grenade coming in. Hostile shooter.
Gotcha, bitch. Watch out, guy coming right on the other side there. Nice.
Thank you.
This guy I was talking about. Good work. Excellent. I'm happy when my communication actually does something. If it actually is.
Yeah.
Or at least like.
I'm happy when I listen.
Tally, mine.
Not that I'm ignoring you, but usually I'm
No, it is. There's a lot of stuff going on. Say the least. I still think about Vanguard every time I do the shipment. Well, I don't know why. It's weird. But
every time you do like package.
Yeah, every time I do UPS, I think about.
You didn't think I'd let that go, did ya?
And I'm like always down to play Vanguard. I don't know why, man.
It's funny. Interesting.
I think
weird how the brain works.
But I love all the Call. I don't think there's a single Call of Duty game besides Modern Warfare 2 that I don't want to play with all my heart. The only good thing about Modern Warfare 2
Rachel
is
said she.
Sorry, oh, Rachel said what? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about why you think of shipment. Remind me that Rachel says she woke up from her nap and she couldn't get Sanjay Gupta's name out of her head.
Oh no!
Like, why is this in my head?
Sanjay. So weirdly, is he even still on CNN? I haven't seen him in a while.
I think since COVID died down, he hasn't been on as much, but he's still on there occasionally.
Yeah. So, wow,
yeah,
crazy.
They'll like do specials on whatever.
Oh, and something's going on. Oh shit! Watch out! Right in front of you.
CNN special.
Something health related, I'm sure.
Shit.
I'm sure that they're gonna like try to keep him as quiet as possible on the next 4 years, because science is not in vogue at the moment. Thank you. We're all about the fucking weirdo spirituality
science has to be in vogue, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, it is like so not cool right now. Right now, it's the hottest shit is like crystals, no fluoride in the water.
Excellent.
This is in vogue right now. This is health.
And they used to make fun of California hippies, these conservatives, you know.
Now there's no
latte drinking vegetarians. But crystals are okay.
Well, I mean, if they, as long as it's not science. If it's health / not science, that works. That works for those Republicans.
Damn right. Mess with the diggers, get your ass buried.
Yeah.
Did you top it off? Oh, here's good. Oh shit! See what? I don't even remember. If I did.
Nice.
Sniping, man. Oh, did I get the quad?
Picking him off.
What's up, bird? No one escapes my sniper.
Making it look easy. Nice.
Making it look easy. Top 3. That's probably like the one good play I had all game.
Yeah, I gotta say, Call of Duty must be responsible for my shooting at the range today being halfway decent. I was like shocked.
It's not unbelievable. Wait, but are you saying that this is maybe like one of the performances like on the range?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm usually pretty good, not to pat myself on the back, but and I'm not, it depends, you know, like I'm not shooting at 75 yards or whatever, but 30 yards out and even 50 I did pretty good.
It's awesome.
It was like I said, I haven't shot before.
Who'd you go with?
So
Was
I
it
thought,
did you
oh,
just
God.
like what was do you own? Do you take it yourself? Like what's the story with the range? What's the story?
Yeah, well, I went the story. I've had a couple handguns for several years, but my friend got me into shooting at ranges a little bit.
You stopped.
You
said you had a friend.
I'm sorry,
it stopped.
I
Like
broke it up
right after when you said your friend got you into shooting, and then
Yeah. So we took a class like with a couple law enforcement officers to, you know, do it. I wanted to do that just because you don't need a license to have a gun, and I thought that I just want to be safe and know what the fuck I'm doing.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
dude. I mean, that's
get a little bit of fucking information. I just go out half-assed. So we took a course, and it wasn't long, but it was pretty thorough.
Probably pretty
and
informative.
after that, I bought a 22.
Oh, you got 22?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, safe handling and how to clean the gun, and you know when you're on the range, what to do and not to do, how to hold it, and how to sight and all that stuff. It's all there's a lot to it, you know.
Yeah, man, it's because
rocket science.
Guns aren't going away. It's best to know what you're doing around them if you're going to be around. I think the closest I got into any kind of like real gun training was ROTC in high school. There's a range in the bottom of the high school. ROTC would fire 22s down there, and this is like the closest I got any kind of real shooting training. But no, it's so you just went on your own today, or the other day, or whenever you.
Yeah, I just went on. Oh fuck. Yeah, there's a range. Ironically, it's like fucking 5 minutes away from my house.
Oh no shit.
Really close. Yeah, so I have no excuse for not going, but after I don't know something about all the school shootings and COVID, then you didn't want to go be around people and stuff. I just kind of stopped going and stopped caring about it, and the guns sit in the safe, and I didn't really touch them or think about them for 8 years, but I did enjoy shooting, at the range. It's kind of fun. So anyway,
it seems like
I
you
got a
haven't
22, which I bought.
Sounds like you haven't lost a step. Like you could put the gun down
Call
forever.
Of Duty is too.
Call of Duty. Yeah, that would be great. If Call of Duty actually like translated into like military training, that's something. Yeah, I've definitely not shot a gun since I started playing Call of Duty, so I can't. I have no experience in that. I honestly think that we should handle all warfare digitally. If wars were fought in Call of Duty, I would be a professional soldier. No question.
Hardpoint located.
Yay! I got my last streamline kill.
Hardpoint locked down.
Yeah, I did too.
All right.
Go.
Hardpoint is active.
Hey,
fuck. Cover. Shit.
Hostiles have the hard point. Indicating way. Cancel.
Shit.
Oh, we are getting killed though.
Oh, sniping. They're out there sniping. Oh yeah, we already didn't count the targets of the point. Oof. Now they're holding it pretty good. I have a feeling they want. Shit! He
Hardpoint identified.
worst feeling
Yeah,
ever.
was it like on their belly or something?
Yeah, or someone just standing
Just
there,
right
like
there at your
aiming,
feet.
and then you like take aim, you're taking your time, and then just biff it. Like, go son of a bitch! This is supposed to be a super slick, easy kill, and I just missed because.
Enemy eliminated. Hardpoint is secure.
It's got max weapon level on my LR 762. Oh, sorry, 762.
Hardpoint locked down.
Officially my favorite sniper.
Hardpoint is secure.
Actually, you know, I can't say that. I think the last one, I was recommending, I couldn't shut the hell up about.
Enemy was
Can't
sent.
remember
Enemy
what
was
it's called now. That one was really good.
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
Yeah, my sniper is fantastic. I think it's just a little slower, but it's more.
Hostile RCXD in your AO.
Oh.
Enemy RCXD front.
Goddamn RCXDs. I hear them coming from a mile away, and then I pull out my pistol, try to take it out, but I can never take it out far away enough where it doesn't goddamn kill me.
Goddamn pride.
Bitch, RCXD. Same thing with like pretty much anything that blows up. Like I'll see like a spring mine or like one of those sticky bombs. Pull out the pistol. I'm taking it out. Boom, boom, blows you to hell. Even though you're like, shh, I feel as if shit is safe.
Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Your spring mine was disrupted.
They just killed us. Challenged.
Cast Hellstorm against my target.
All right, I'm doing a Hellstorm launch.
Let's go. You know how to, you know the proper way to do the Hellstorm launch, right?
Hardpoint locked down.
No, I do not.
Okay, there's when you shoot it. I think I can't remember if it's
Prepping sentry turret.
right left trigger, but I think when you hit left trigger, it'll slow it down, right? And
left trigger will slow it down.
It'll slow it down. And then right trigger will launch secondary missiles. So what you want to do, you want to slow it down at first, see where they're at, start shooting those secondary missiles, and once you're out of those, find out where the where you want to land it, and then just let go of the hold and just let it drop.
Hostiles have the hardpoint.
Okay.
Hardpoint is secure.
It's I mean,
I had no idea what I was doing there.
No, it's fine. It's the same way it was in Cold War, and I fell in love with it in Cold War, and I'm a huge fan. So if you get it again, or if I get it again, because I've definitely
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
equipped at the moment. I'll confirm that key flow.
The CIA against the hands of
Pretty sure, like when you launch it, yeah, you hit down left trigger. It'll slow down the missile, and then when you can either like hold down right trigger or kind of like hit it like you're shooting. It'll send out like kind of like secondary missiles that are heat sinking, and they'll just go straight for enemies. And then like once I think you got like a few of those, and then once you're out, you're gonna like try to aim your main missile towards whatever's left, and then when you let it go, just let go of the left trigger, speed up again, and then you just land the main missile on wherever you want.
All right.
Hopefully, an enemy.
No, I don't know if I killed anybody. It was headed right towards a rooftop, and no one was on the roof.
Yeah, make sure you go for that left trigger to slow it down. I will like regularly get like a quad kill at least, like whenever the hell missile, fire missile, because it's really easy to take people out with those secondaries. When you slow it down, the heat sinking is super simple. You just slow it down right away and start taking people out with the heat sinking ones, and which are super easy. Aim for it. My favorite kill.
Got time for one more?
I absolutely do.
I'm almost done.
What do you got left to do?
I got to get 3 more eliminations with a semi-auto, so that won't be hard. Marksman. What type?
Which one? Yeah.
One, I'm using the Sarkov 7.6.
Yeah, the 762. Yeah, I've got that one equipped at the moment too. I think I had that challenge yesterday for semi-auto, so I flipped that on. But I still haven't finished grinding the SWAT 5.56. I'm gonna equip that. Still haven't rolled on that one yet, but I haven't moved on. Once I'm done with pistols and snipers, maybe I'll move on to marksman after that. I'm essentially a professional Call of Duty camo grinder at this point.
Domination.
Like I think if if major media sources needed question anyone or have any information, like I would be like an expert.
I would vouch for that. I would say yes. You want to talk to? I know exactly who you need to talk to.
Oh, you need info about the camo grind in Call of Duty? There's only one person to talk to, right here.
They're taking C.
And I'm still fairly determined to finish the camo grind in Modern Warfare 2019. Been working on it for 6 years. God damn it, I must finish it. I will.
Maintain current posture.
Shit.
Oh, fuck. We're losing Alpha. Taking B.
Yeah, not a lot of it's not a lot of long shot challenges for camos, but I finally met one with the sniper.
I'm sorry, not a lot of long shots with what?
The camo challenges. I feel like you would get those a lot with even you would get SMG long shot challenges for your camos and shit. I haven't really gotten those. I finished the SMGs and there wasn't a single get a long shot with an SMG one. And I just ran into my first long shot challenge with snipers, which makes sense.
Securing zone A.
Get counter UAV in the air. TACOM, I need eyes overhead.
That's a mover.
Wasting my time. Okay, fuck.
Taking Alpha. Flatlined him.
Your camping A, but we're kind of beating them.
Establish watchdog helo on station above.
We're losing Charlie. Losing C. Hostile RCXD in your AO. Lost B.
Yeah, RCXD. Found a way to find me.
Taking Bravo underway. Engaging hostile. Controlling Bravo. Eyes on Semtex. They're taking C.
Or not. Why am I not doing my normal MO on this map?
UAV on grid.
You know, over here.
All right.
Losing Bravo.
Time for flanky spanky.
Oh, get him!
Going around the back.
Palace, that's what this is called. Camping on the palace, sniping as they get off A, sniping as they spawn off C. Wherever they're coming from.
We're losing Charlie. Taking Bravo underway.
Okay, so present fire. Concussion grenade out.
Got eyes on a hostile. Taking B. They're taking C. Bravo is ours. Enemy grenade.
How many fucking times do I gotta shoot this guy? God damn it! I swear to God, I shot 10 rounds and I missed him every single time. Oh my God, that was funny. Bang, 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 bang,
Dancing
bang,
around.
Yeah. Oh man, that was.
Yeah, I love the song and dance. Shoot each other 100 times and don't even get a hit. Damn, CXT. Oh, God damn it! Uh-oh. Play the game material.
Taking Alpha.
Throwing something. Enemy stun.
Losing B. Beginning capture. Locked down. Dig in and hold them.
Oh, now we're just bullying them.
Concussion grenade sighted. Throwing incendiary. Losing Bravo. We're losing Alpha. We lost A. Losing B.
We had A for a little bit, but
Yeah, their strategy of just camping working out for them. Like I'm like, yeah, go ahead and camp A. It gives me a good way to snipe.
Losing Bravo. Hey, finger off the trigger.
See?
Grenade. Objectives Losing B.
Hostile stun.
Losing capture operation. Maintain current posture.
Bye-bye.
We're losing Charlie. We're losing all zones. Losing A. Target confirmed.
You don't remember that.
We're losing Charlie.
Dude, Hassan Piker. I sent you a video after the election.
Stay alert. Marshal people
And, Democrats blowing the left for the loss. For that at all. There's this
ringing a bell for me.
This guy. So the same guy.
You made it look
interviewed. Because out in California in the wildfires, they're using a lot of prison labor to fight the fires.
Oh, are they really?
Oh yeah. And he went out there and interviewed a bunch of them, and it's really interesting. It's getting some good press.
What's the gist of it?
But these people are out there, you know, risking their lives for like pennies.
Wow, it's a very Russia kind of thing.
A little bit.
It
seems a little messed up.
I think Russia was saying, "You guys, we'll let you out of prison. We'll fight the war in Ukraine."
Yeah, totally. Oh,
Like,
if we were in the same situation, we would do the same. 100%. Force prisoners into war, without question. Oh man, I might have to crash. I'm gonna have to just go to sleepy sleeps. God damn it! Was not expecting that. I thought I'd play a little longer.
Yeah, I was ready for a rest anyway, so it's all good.
All good.
The challenge is done.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. Wait. What's tomorrow? What's today? Thursday? Friday?
Friday. Make it happen.
So tomorrow's DMZ. I'm gonna see if I can do any pyro research beforehand. If not, whatever. We could do something cool. If not, we'll just go in to get some. We'll just go in to get some gear and do our best. I definitely could like get some cash to put away and some loot runs. Oh, I was actually thinking about this because the whole Elon Musk like fake gamer with that game Path of Exile. I was thinking there's a way to kind of make it make sense. Because DMZ is basically like a looting game too. So there's similarities between like DMZ and like Path of Exile or like Diablo. And it would be like going in to a match with like nothing but like with your backpack full of screwdrivers.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why they were laughing.
Yeah, like he's like you wouldn't want to have your bag full of bullshit because you want to get shit. His bag was full of bullshit, and it was like, and if he was like trying to hit like well, how do I change my operator, after playing like for super like being one of the best players ever, like not being able to like figure out basic shit, If that makes it make any clearer.
So embarrassing. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that explains it. It's just so embarrassing that he would do that.
It's
a loser.
It's insane.
If you can call a guy in charge of Tesla a loser, he's a loser.
He's got. I mean, he is a
SpaceX.
He's a poser. That's a term for
poser.
Time.
There you go. Yeah, that's a. That's a better one.
It's pathetic. And the kids, cringe lord.
Oh yeah,
Cringezilla.
Right.
All right, cool. Hey, I'll let you go. Hit me up tomorrow. Oh, I'm ready. I'll be ready tomorrow. So let's do it.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good night.
You too. Later. I'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, we have Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont here on the broadcast. A way to finally close the circle, a person that is endlessly impactful in American politics for especially our corner of American politics, a person that I believe is profoundly important in revitalizing the leftist movement in this country. Bernie Sanders, thank you so much for everything you've done. And also thank you for coming on the broadcast.
Well, my pleasure to be with you, and thank you for what you are doing. You are part of a revolution in media today, which is talking to millions of people who are tuning out of legacy media, and thanks for what you're doing.
So we have a limited amount of time, so I'm going to get right into it. As far as your impact goes, I think we should probably start off with where you foresee the future of the left movement going in American politics.
Well, what I am most optimistic about is a revitalization of the trade union movement in this country, a growth in class consciousness, workers beginning to stand up and take on corporate greed, stand up to the massive levels of income and wealth inequality that we have today. And I think the future of American politics is bringing young people, people of color, women together in a movement led by the trade union movement, which demands that we end oligarchy in America. And that's something I'd like to talk with you a little bit about, Hassan, and move toward not only a democratic political system, but an economy where all of our people in the wealthiest nation on earth have a decent standard of living. That is not a radical idea. We can do it, but we can't do it unless we bring people together around a progressive agenda.
Absolutely. Speaking of the oligarchy, we of course have the anti-corruption candidate, Donald Trump, who ran on draining the swamp the first time and then only seemingly worsened the conditions of the swamp, now aligned directly with one of the top oligarchs, the actual top oligarch, the wealthiest person on the planet, Elon Musk. And I feel like you've had some conversations about Elon Musk, especially in recent weeks. And I was wondering how you feel about Donald Trump cozying up to all of these billionaires, and these billionaires, especially in the tech sector, including but not limited to Elon Musk, cozying back up to Donald Trump and a resurgence of right-wing politics in the country.
Hassan, this is of enormous, enormous consequence. There's something more important that is happening not only in American politics, but in world politics. Let's think about it for a moment. What you got in Elon Musk is, in fact, the wealthiest guy in the world, worth over $400 billion. I mean, it's just astronomical, mentioning that. Along with Zuckerberg, Bezos, the three of them are worth almost $8 trillion. They're all going to be at Trump's side during his inauguration. Musk is going to play an active role in, quote unquote, transforming government. What is all of this stuff is about? What it's about is moving incredibly rapidly toward an oligarchic form of society where the very wealthiest people will not only own the economy, but not only own the media. I mean, Bezos owns the Washington Post, Musk owns Twitter, but also own the political system. One of the issues that we don't talk about enough is that during this last election, a small, tiny number of people, multi-billionaires, poured huge amounts of money into both political parties, and that is, to my mind, not what democracy is about. So you got control of the media by the few, control of the political system by the few, control of the economy by the few. And if that's not oligarchy, I don't know what oligarchy is. Our job is to bring our people together, the vast majority of the people, demand a vibrant democracy, getting rid of Citizens United, one person, one vote, limiting the amount of money big money can spend on politics, and creating an economy in the richest country on earth that guarantees a decent standard of living for all people. That's the challenge.
What do you think Elon Musk is going to do in terms of privatization when he is basically in charge of numerous government agencies now? Like, he's going to have control, or at least a tremendous amount more influence, direct influence over numerous government agencies, some of which are tasked with regulating his companies.
Exactly. And it's not just, don't look at it as him having control over this or that agency. It's the enormous impact that the wealthiest guy on earth, a very smart guy and a very dynamic, hardworking guy, what he's going to have over the totality of the government and the Trump administration. What does it mean? These guys do not believe in government. They aggressively believe in deregulation. They believe in more and more wealth and power, people on top right now. You don't hear Mr. Musk talking about the need to provide health care to all people as a human right. You don't hear Mr. Musk talking about the need to make sure that all of our people have decent education or live in safe, affordable housing. That you don't need. What you're talking about is an expansion and growth in technology, which will benefit the people on top, and in my view, at the expense of ordinary people. And you know what else was kind of unique about Musk? A little bit different than other guys. This guy, increasingly, you may have noticed, talking about people with super high IQs. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that kind of language in a very long time. You're talking about a kind of a superior aristocracy. Who are all so smart and know all about technology, have all kinds of wealth, who are living these extraordinary lives, and they're going to be running the world for us. And the challenge of the moment is that with an exploding technology that has the capability of improving life for all, we've got to make sure that that happens and not see more increased wealth and power going to the people on top, which is exactly what Musk is all about. These guys are smart, they are aggressive, they want even more wealth, they want even more power. They are enormously dangerous. What's going on right now is unprecedented. This is not just, rich guys, oh boy, I'd like some more money, I need another 14th house. They want power to go with their wealth.
What would you say to the growing resentment from the American working class against political institutions, the elite, and specifically our government? Do you feel like this level of deregulation and privatization and the erosion of government social safety nets and government programs have contributed to that resentment?
Absolutely. Look, you're the average guy out there. You're not into politics. What are you seeing? You're seeing that in many ways you are no better off, in some cases worse off, than a worker in your place 50 years ago. You got that? Real inflation accounted for wages for the average American worker, despite the huge increase in worker productivity and technology, all the computers, all the cell phones. An average worker in real inflation accounts for dollars, not making a nickel more than he or she did 50 years ago. And during that period, a massive transfer of wealth. Bottom 90% to the top 1%. And you're looking around you, and you're worried that your children may be in even worse financial shape than you are. They may never own a home of their own. You look at a government, you're hearing all the political bullshit that's out there. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And yet, maybe your job went to China. It's likely that you have a high deductible. You may not have any health insurance at all. Maybe your kid made it to college and he or she is deeply in debt. And you're saying, does democracy really work for me? And a lot of people are concluding, no, it doesn't. And they're willing to move toward a more authoritarian type society run by Donald Trump. You know, what Trump said in so many words, he said, you know what, this system is broken. I'm going to smash it. Well, he's right, the system is broken. Problem is, his solutions are going to make a bad situation even worse. Our job is to acknowledge what Democrats don't. You know what? The system is broken. We need to rebuild the system. People together, we can do it. We should not be the only major country on earth not guaranteeing health care to all people as a human right. You think we can't build millions of units of affordable housing? You think we can't reach out to the world and address climate change? I think we can. Tough stuff. None of this is easy. We can do it. A lot of people are
we get them
saying,
to acknowledge climate change is real.
I've heard all of it over and over again. It ain't working for me. Status quo is
maybe not
what I want. I want change. Trump may be crazy. He may be a pathological liar. He's going to bring about change. So that's what I think we're dealing with.
Do you feel like this was a crisis in communication from the Democratic Party in the past election cycle that led to the defeat of Kamala Harris?
No, I don't. I don't think it's a question of communication. I think it's what the Democrats stand for. So, you know, it's not messaging is art. So if the Democrats believe, does the Democratic leadership believe that the current system is broken? You tell me, have you heard that? People go around saying, look, there's something wrong when we have massive income and wealth inequality, when we're the only major country not to guarantee health care to all people, when you got 800,000 people sleeping out on the streets, when we have an opioid epidemic, when our public schools are failing. You know what? Guess what? The system ain't working. Do you hear Democrats say? You tell me. I mean, I'm sitting in the Beltway. I don't hear it. Do you hear it on the outside world?
No, absolutely not. That's why I was wondering what your opinion is. Is it malicious? Is it incompetence? Is it because we are now seeing the likes of Chris Murphy, for example, come to terms with a more left-wing populist message that they want to adopt. Now, you say that it's more than just a message. It's actually about dramatically changing the policy, dramatically changing the direction away from this zealotry that they display in terms of defending third-way neoliberalism, and I 100% agree with that. But will there actually be a change in your estimation within the Democratic Party? Do they actually want to win elections? Do they actually want to change the trajectory of American politics away from the throes of fascism?
Do they want to win elections? Absolutely. Are they willing to take on their corporate sponsors?
How do we build sustainable?
People who finance their campaigns in order to do what is popular, what the American people want, which is the way you win elections. Let me give you just many examples. I mean, I can throw it out. It is one thing to say, okay, we are opposing Trump's effort, perhaps, to throw millions of people off of the Affordable Care Act. We all agree that should not happen. It's another thing to ask why it is we're spending twice as much per capita on healthcare. 85 million people are uninsured or underinsured. Insurance costs are going up. The question there is our healthcare system broken or not? I think many Democrats are prepared to say, yeah, it's broken. We need a new system. We need to move towards Medicare for all. Are there some Democrats who are beginning to catch on that there is something wrong when they have lost a significant part of the white working class, now the Latino working class, some of the black working class? Are people beginning to catch on that maybe we've got to address some of the issues that are impacting the lives of working people? Yeah, I think some are enough. No, I don't think so.
How do you feel about the Morena victory in Mexico, if you don't mind me asking? Because we did see a somewhat older figure in AMLO transitioning power away after seeing tremendous success with the expansion of the welfare state and social safety nets and trying to target to the best of his ability inflationary the inflation crisis that many other Western liberal capitalist nations faced, where we saw historically unpopular incumbent disadvantages. AMLO was able to transfer power away from himself to a younger female candidate, Claudia Sheinbaum. So clearly, even in North America, there is an example of a social democratic party becoming even more popular in the aftermath of this election.
Look, it ain't complicated. If you do what your constituents want you to do, how aren't they going to vote for you? I mean, it's kind of basic politics. If you ignore their needs and say, well, you just don't appreciate all that we have done for you, you don't know how good you have it, well, you know what they say, you know, well, screw you, I'm not doing well. I would also mention to you that when we passed in the throes of the pandemic, the American Rescue Plan, which provided direct cash payment, tens of millions of Americans extended unemployment, put a whole lot of money into childcare, kept people from getting evicted, lowered the childhood poverty rate through a child tax credit. At that particular point, after that bill was passed, guess what? Biden's popularity was the highest that it was throughout his administration. You tell me, just tell me. If the Democratic Party said, you know what, in the first 3 months of a Democratic presidency, a Democratic Congress, every American will have health care as a human right without having to take out your wallet, because it's a human right. We're going to fund it in a progressive way, publicly, no more in insurance premiums, co-payments, deductibles. If the Democrats pulled that off, how incredibly popular do you think they would be? You tell me.
Absolutely.
Am I missing something?
No, absolutely. Do you think that it's the impact of money in politics that causes Democrats to be afraid of taking the initiative on issues like this? Or is it more pervasive and unfortunately scarier than that? Because I'm a firm believer that aside from the lobbying dollars, I think that there is a crisis of like elitism, I would say, where you have immediate family members of Democratic Party officials and of course the Republican Party officials as well that go to work in these corporations. So it's a more complex web beyond even lobbying in terms of the conflict of interest, in my opinion, between members of Congress and the corporate elite.
I think you're right. I think it is both factors. Let us not minimize where the money plays, period. Every American, I don't give a damn what your political views are, should be really frightened that 3 multi-billionaires in the Republican Party could put hundreds of millions of dollars into Trump's campaign. Democrats also had many billionaires contributing. And if you think those guys are doing this out of the goodness of their hearts, you would be mistaken. Obviously, they want to elect candidates who represent their interests. And the second thing related, kind of what you're saying, son, is that people live in a certain world. One of the crises of the corrupt campaign finance system we have is not only the impact of money. Many of my colleagues are spending 20-30% of their days. You know what they do? They're not out talking to their working class constituents. They're on the phone raising money for wealthy people. They're going to house parties with wealthy people. When you surround yourself with folks who have come from a certain old perspective, I'm running a corporation. Let me tell you about all my problems I'm having. It's not, hey, I can't pay my rent. Let me tell you about my problems. If you live in a certain milieu, I think is what you're talking about, and that becomes separate from reality. Does that take place? Is that happening? I think it is.
Yeah, I noticed that I was the most out of touch with the outside world when I was directly at the DNC. Despite being online the entire time, that I definitely noticed that there is a bubble surrounding, I would say, the Rust Belt for sure, or not the Rust Belt. Sorry, the DC class and the media class. I think are certainly.
It really is. It really is. I mean, I've said this. It really is. I've said this a million times, and it's not just the politicians. It's the inside the Beltway media. I cannot recall. I have done 12 zillion interviews in my political life over the years. There's nobody who's come up to me and said, Bernie, we have massive income and wealth inequality. What do you think we should do about it? Bernie, What are you going to do about the fact that 25% of seniors in this country living on $15,000 a year or less? What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about the fact that so many people are homeless? Those are questions that one is not asked. One is never asked about income and wealth inequality, for example. It's not part of the mindset of media or, for that matter, politicians. And we got to break through that. We have got to break